chilling. I want to say thank you to everybody for calling in on yesterday. First of all, I want to give honor to God for blessing me today to be here for this platform. I want to thank him for allowing me to bless each and every one of you. Okay. I know people kind of miss the Sunday services that we used to do. We're going to bring it back, but I got to open my Bible up again. You know what I'm saying? I got to get back into the word. So I'll be knowing what I'm preaching, or teaching or talking about for it. So we're going to definitely bring back the Sunday services in February. So we're going to be doing that, preaching, talking, having a good time, So we definitely going to be doing that. We're going to bring that back in February, but I got to get back in my word. I literally, like, that is one of my goals this year, to literally read my Bible every day like I used to. I remember, since it's Sunday, can I say this? I remember, I used to read my Bible a lot, and I want to get back to that. I remember in the middle of the night, I would go in that restroom, crack that Bible open, and would just read and read and read. And it used to help me a lot. And I would see different scriptures and talking about David and about Jesus. I used to read the word a lot, and I got to get back into it, because when you put it down, pick it back up. Some of y'all didn't put y'all Bibles down, but pick it back up and read it. Now, I'm a Christian, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian, but I want to talk about something that we got to be a little messy this Sunday. All right, let's put them on the screen. We're going to be talking about Kenya Moore. We're going to talk about Steve Harvey, because a lot of the church folks been reading him. All right. We're going to be talking about Kenya Moore. I told y'all we're going to talk about Steve Harvey. And we're going to be talking about protect Black women. Something that happened. I want to talk about Black women. So first of all, let's get to our first subject. Okay, give me a second. Where we at? Where? Put the picture up. Let's get into Steve Harvey. Now, Steve Harvey is, he's in the media now. I would have talked about the whole Michael B. Jordan, how he's giving Michael B. Jordan the side eye. He get everybody the side eye. But I got Steve Harvey on the docket because Steve Harvey is a Muslim. And he did a YouTube video, and I saw, and I don't know how long he's been a Muslim, because I thought he was a Christian. So I went on and I watched it, and I went in those comments, baby. I went in those comments. Let me go back to that video. Can I go back to that video? Hold on, let me go on that. I got with the history. They was reading him in that comment. He had on he was out. I think he's in Dubai. And he's a Muslim. They were showing like the mosque that he pray at and all that. And I was shocked, because I thought that he was a Christian. That's what I thought, because he was talking about Jesus. I really thought he was a Christian. So the people in the chat and the comments, they were confused, right? And it's a video that he released. It said How Steve Harvey Prays. That is the name entitled the video. It was released yesterday. And so in the comments, a lot of people said, one person comment said, we should respect all religions, but you can only follow one. Another person said in the chat, Steve, I hope God agrees with you. Apart from living in adultery, as far as the Bible concerned, you watered the gospel down to a social and prosperity gospel. You can't take a stand for holiness. And now this, I really, really hope you are not one of those who will cry out to the rocks and mountains when the day comes. Another person, these Bible folk, they was in this chat. Let me read another comment. Somebody else said to Steve Harvey, there is only one way, and that is through Jesus Christ. Another person comment said, Paul the apostle respectfully appealed to those worshiping other gods as he made a case for Jesus, the Christ. It is not true to all that to disagree means to disrespect. And then another person, I'm reading these comments, baby. They was going in these comments. Another person commented and said, I know Steve Harvey's mother had taught him the one way to God. It's through Jesus. I respect other people's faith, but go by what Jesus said in John 14:6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. I mean, they will quote scriptures in them comments. And I was shocked because I thought that he was a Christian. Okay? That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? That's just to be that he have a right to worship whomever he want to worship. I choose to worship Jesus. I'm a follower of Jesus. Right? I tend to worship that. I don't worship Allah. You know, that's just me. But is I'm going to judge Steve Harvey for what he believe in? No. I got this theory. As long as you praying, doing right, treat people with respect, not disrespecting them, treating your wife with respect, loving her, taking care of your family, taking care of your community. As long as you live it upright in those principles, I'm not going to judge you because you want to pray to someone else. That is your right. And one thing that I have learned, that I can't judge nobody because I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. At the end of the day, God have the final say so. So what is me to judge Steve Harvey for what he believe in? He could possibly be right, and you could possibly be wrong. So let's just make sure you right and clean. Make sure your glass is clean, your life is clean before you try to judge Steve Harvey and come down with him with scriptures. Make sure your life is together. That's what I want to say about that. Make sure you live it up holy, and not, other type of way before you try to come at Steve Harvey. You got to be very cautious of that because so many people in it. That's why a lot of folks are turned away from the church. Because folks just be quoting scriptures. You got to do it. And folks be trying to come in. You don't give them love. What about love? Embrace it with love. Y'all be so quick. A lot of folks be so quick to just throw out scriptures. And you wonder why a lot of folks don't come to church like that. You got to know how to use wisdom. And you ain't got to quote a scripture. I should be able to look at your life and to be able to say, that's what I want to follow. You living good. You're treating your neighbors good. You're treating them with love. You're not hateful. You're not spiteful. You don't steal. That's what they should be able to look at your life. You don't even have to quote a scripture. Your life, somebody should say, oh, you follow Jesus. Just by your life, just by your personality. Oh, you follow Jesus. You ain't quoting out one scripture. You just living a clean life. You ain't got to quote no scripture. Just because you can quote a scripture from Genesis to Revelation, that don't mean that you got something. And that person, that brother or sister probably don't even know all the books of the Bible, living a righteous life. Just because you know every scripture, that does not make you right, because you can quote a scripture from Genesis all the way to Revelation, from the Greek to the Hebrews. That don't make you right if you ain't living right, but yet you can quote all them scriptures. Like, come on now. Don't get me started this Sunday. Well, you got to be very careful. People just be there, come at you with scriptures. They be ready and living a filthy life. Let your light shine. Just let your people, you don't even have to say, hey, I'm a Christian. People would just know by your spirit and your personality. Even if you have a husband, I was raised that if you had a husband that's not saved and don't go and not in church, my pastor used to tell him, like, don't be trying to quote scriptures at your husband, trying to get him in there. He should be able to look at your life and your spirit, and you should win him over to come to church by your life at home. And that's what you got to about and people around you, what they got to say about you. That's what to make you win them over to come to church. But if you acting nasty at home, hypocrite and cussing, ain't doing right, how you think you're gonna get the people in your family come to your church when you act the way you act? You must first be the first partaker, be an example of what you say you represent. You might be this out. I should be able to just sitting there, just observing you and feel that spirit, that anointing of righteousness. Not you backbiting, not you stepping on my toe and cussing me out, and then go put on your skirt and put on some perfume and go out and shout. Come on now. How you think you're going to win people over like that? Come on now, talk to your neighbor. It's just say I should be able to look at your life and say you a follower of Jesus. I should be able to look at your life That's the problem. It's a lot of people that is quoting scriptures and they not living what Jesus said. They ain't living the baby. You look at their life, it's so messed up, but you can't beat them from quoting the scripture. It ain't about quoting scriptures is easy. The work is actually applying those scriptures to your life and living by those principles. All right, don't get me started. We ain't got no keyboard player and no organ player. Don't get me started this morning. All right. Yes. All right. Because your son, let me use an example of just your attitude, your personality. Your son, your daughter, they don't have to tell you that they're in the game. Some of you see your kids' personality change. You be like, oh, you in them games. Your attitude change. You can try to tell when your child is hanging around the wrong crowd. Why? Because you started to see them talking back, not doing right, pants hanging down, grades are slipping. You started to see their personality. And they don't even have to tell you that they're in the streets. If you are watchful and observant, so with that, if you can see that when somebody doing wrong, you could also be observant when a person is doing right. Come on now. Helping those that are in need, praying for those that are in need, help living a clean life. When you're around them, you love being around them. They just have a good spirit around. They don't judge you. They be a listening ear. And you'd be like, man, I want to follow where you go at. Oh, your life. I got to follow you because you got you live in a strong life. I feel it. Hey, where you going? All right. Come on, somebody. So I wanted to say that, and I wasn't even preparing this. But when I saw that when he said he was Muslim, people started quoting, they started quoting scriptures and talking at him and all that type of stuff. Whatever he believed in, it is your job to say, you know what, brother? I'm going to pray for you. I don't agree with what you follow, but I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to move on with my life. I'm not going to try to force you and try to change you into something that you don't want to change. I'm going to live my life and then I'm going to be an example of following Jesus and let you, I'm going to pray for you and move on. And then sometimes you ask and have conversation. We so divided when it comes to religion. That divides us. And that ain't nothing but a tool from the enemy to divide you. Well, I'm this. I'm AME. I'm Baptist. I'm Kojic. I'm Lutheran. And like that divides you because the purpose of you supposed to be a follower of Jesus, but it's so divided within that spectrum. You Baptist. I don't follow Baptist. I'm Pentecostal. And it'd be like these folks. I'm like, good God Almighty. What about just being a follower of Jesus? What about that? Y'all put all these titles and all that, and you turn people away when they get in the fight. Y'all don't get me started. Oh Lord, let me go ahead on. All right, it's Marquita's birthday. Happy birthday, Marquita. You should be shouting right there. Marquita, I see you right there. You said it's your birthday. You should have came in and said, Lord, thank you for blessing me to see another year. Thank you for keeping me up. You should be getting up, thanking him right now. You should be saying, thank you, Lord. You should be shouting right in the area in your home, right where if you at work, drop the work pad, drop the computer, take the earpiece out your head and tell Lord, thank you. You better tell her thank you. I don't care if you at work, drop it. If you have to go and do a praise break at the cubicle or at the restroom, you should be thanking God right there, Marquita. Where you at? Because many people ain't saying it yet. If you see it another, you should be thanking them right there. I don't care if you're in the break room eating your sandwich. Drop that sandwich. Drop that chicken wing and praise him. You better drop that chicken wing and give him a praise. I don't care if you eat your noodles at work. You should be praised. Everybody in there say, what's wrong with that lady? And somebody should say, she just praising God. It's her birthday. I said, wait a minute. You should be praising right there. Okay? You should be shouting. The usher should be right there. Be usher that she should be praising right there. All right, drop that chicken wing. I don't know if you eat. If you eat, you at work, at home, I don't. So you really should be shouting. You should be real loud. Wake up everybody. I don't care if your kids sleep. Wake them up. They all should be shouting and say it's Mama's birthday. You should be shouting right there. Okay. All right. You should be praising him right there with your birthday. It's your birthday. You should be shouting. Right there. Say, Lord, I thank you for waking me up this morning. I see in another year. Where you at? Is you there? Is you there? Okay, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Marquita. Hey. Happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you. Come on, Marquita. May the good Lord bless you. Hey. May the good Lord bless you, Marquita. May the good Lord bless you. Yes. You better go right ahead. I just gotta sing it. Now we don't charge y'all for no birthday shout outs yet. Okay. We ain't rolling rate. We ain't charge y'all for no birthday shout outs yet. But it's gonna come a time I have to start charging because some of y'all, we ain't charging yet, but we will be having to charge. I'm about to talk to the financial department and see if we're gonna have to start charging for these birthdays. We ain't charging yet. It's free. All right. You get a birthday shout. I'm saying it's free for right now. It may change because if you can be in a wheelchair, come on, somebody, hold up before we get to the other subject. If somebody could be in a wheelchair and you would pay that person to give you a birthday shout out, you could give a man with a cock eye and sit here with a runny nose for a birthday shout out. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna have to start charging. What you think? Is my moderators? Do we got any moderators in the house today? I don't know where you at, D. I know you probably on the treadmill working out right now, but I don't know. I might have to start charging folks for a happy birthday. What y'all think? Okay. All right, because the roller rake can sit in a wheelchair and get wigs that can catch on fire. I might as well just go ahead and start charging folks. You better come on, talk to me. Come on, because he said before that wig caught on fire, he said he had to give out a birthday shout out. He said he had to do a couple of birthday shout outs before the wig caught on fire. So if Come on, because in the scriptures it said fire in my bones. It didn't say fire in my hair. Okay, shut up in my bones. But that man had fire. His weave caught on fire. So that's a sign for you sisters. Be careful having that synthetic wigs in your hair. Be careful having them flammable wigs on. You know you're supposed to be having that from China with them flammable wigs and you love to smoke. And don't be having all that stuff that can catch on fire that's flammable. If it's on the package, please beware of fire. You shouldn't be having it on your head. I'm going to just say that right then and there. Come on now. Whew. It's just some folks ain't. I'm just saying what I'm saying. If on the package, when you get the package from Fashion Nova, if it say stay away from fire, you don't need that on your head. If the hair's flammable, you don't need that on your head. I'm just going to tell y'all right there today. You don't need that on your head. Where you going somewhere? You come on, somebody. Don't get me started today. You bed bound, you can't hardly move out of bed. You got flammable and you still trying to smoke in the bed. That's a sign that you need to stop doing that. If you got to get a caregiver and a call light button and you can't move around and you still trying to smoke, that's a sign that you need to stop smoking. That's why I tell folks don't be doing all that type of stuff. You know you don't supposed to be smoking you in your bed. You don't supposed to be smoking. You're supposed to smoke at a certain area. You're supposed to be upright, sitting up straight at a certain at a 90-degree angle. It's a certain angle you're supposed to be sitting when you smoking. You don't smoke in your bed. Anything can catch on fire. You don't try to smoke. No, you're struggling. You don't supposed to be doing that. No. It's some things that you can't do no more. That's why you have to have a helpmeet. Have somebody to help you, to assist you if you just want to smoke. But if your head stuff catch up, I will stop smoking. That'll be the day I will never touch a cigarette again in my life, especially if you're burning. It's some stuff when you start to burn, you might as well stop doing. If you burning, some things to let you know it's a warning that you need to stop doing it if you burning. Come on, some of y'all know how it is. Be burning and itching and burning. That's a sign. Oh, you need to stop doing that. You burning. Oh no, you need to stop doing that. You burn, catch on fire, and burn and all that. Stop doing it. Just stop it. All right. Only fire you should have is the Holy Ghost fire. That's the only fire you should be, the Holy Ghost fire, not your head catching on fire. Don't be doing that. Head catch it on fire and all that type of, that's a sign you need to stop wearing all that weave. Take it out your hair. Don't be having all that synthetic weave and all that type of stuff. And y'all, oh, that looks so good and it's flammable. It don't look good. It ain't designed for you to be put in your head. They need to take that off the market. Should nobody have on a synthetic weave? You can't even light up a Christmas candle and it whoosh. Come on, son. Here we go. We back. And we good. Come on, somebody. Turn to your neighbor. Do you got on a flammable wig? Ushers, where the ushers at? I want y'all to walk down the aisle and check folks to make sure they ain't got on no synthetic wig that is flammable. Escort them out of here if they got on a flammable wig. If you come up in here and you hit take off them wig, don't be having no flammable wig. Come on now. Turn to your neighbor, say, do you have a flammable wig? And if she say yes, then say, take it off. He or she, take it off. Period. Take that wig off. You try to sit there, talk all that mess, can't even light a cigarette. It's just some stuff you just can't do. Come on, somebody. I'm just saying. You know you can't be like those. You talk the one that need the most help, talk the most mess. You should be meek and humble. Can't even hardly light yourself up. Let's move on. You don't supposed to be tall that, but you're supposed to be the most nice. If you need assistance, I'm telling you all this. If you are in need of assistance, you should be nice. It's something wrong with you. You can't hardly do for yourself. You just as mean and nasty. You shouldn't be that way. And somebody got to clean you. You be nice. Don't be mean and upset. And people, when you take care of somebody, you treat them nice. But don't be mean and nasty. You in a nursing home, be nice to folks that got to take care of you. And if they tell you, hey, sister so-and-so, I can't take you for your smoke break right now. I'm busy. Wait till they able to take you on your smoke break. If you know you got to get assistance to light up a cigarette, don't light it up. Wait till somebody assists you to light it up. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to help you. If you know that you need assistance to smoke, wait till your caregiver Get your life alert. Wait till whomever can help you. If ain't nobody help you, just gonna have to suffer not smoking that cigarette today. Come on now. You better get you a patch. Get you one of them patches. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. You know you're supposed to be doing all that smoking and you in the bed, your legs propped up in the air. You don't supposed to be doing all that smoking. Lord, come on now. Let me move on. Woo. And you spraying hairspray, gel, jam, nails. That's too much. You go. All right, let's go ahead on. I just had to just tell somebody else still. I'm just telling you, it's just some stuff you just can't do. You know. Let's move on. Hey, y'all having a good time today? Get you a life alert and patches. Don't be worried about that. All right, let's get back to the subject at hand. We were talking about Steve Harvey. You know, Steve Harvey, whatever he want to do, whoever he want to worship, let him do that. We are not his God. We are not we can't tell him where he should. He's a grown man. He have a right to do what he has to do. Steve Harvey, keep being a great man. Keep help Black people and keep continue to be a good provider for your family. And God bless you, my brother. Let's move on. All right. So I want to get to the second subject, Lord. Kenya Moore and her husband. I believe they're saying in the chat or what I was reading in the media. Let me make sure I pull it up because I forgot what I was going to say about Kenya Moore. Okay. All right. I want to make sure I say it right. Where Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore and Mark break up again. Okay, the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore and husband Mark are once again calling it quits after attempting to reconcile following their 2019 split. After recently attending meditation, Kenya and I have agreed to end our relationship, to end our marriage. And he said, I will always have great care for her and look forward to her continue to co-parent our daughter Brooklyn with an abundance of love and wisdom. Let me just tell you something. Real Housewives, I see at one point, regular day, I look at them, but they've been saying this ever. Real Housewives of Atlanta is struggling in the ratings. They are struggling for storylines. Come on. Once did I say meditation? I mean mediation. It was a mediation. Did I say meditation? Mediation. Is it mediation? They are struggling for storylines. And for me, you can't really trust all this stuff with these celebrity people that's on these shows. Be very cautious because they said they breaking up again. They are struggling. The Real Housewives of Atlanta ratings have dropped. Now, Nene Leakes ain't no there. They ain't really got nobody that's loud, ghetto on there, you know, playing that typical ghetto character. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? They don't have Phaedra, you know, on there. So pretty much they can't, the people that they have on there is struggling in the ratings. Is really, really struggling. So I do believe they're doing everything that they can do to just drive those ratings up. Just to drive those ratings up. Oh, we breaking up. We getting a voice. Then you had Cynthia. Oh, I'm suing Peter. She talking about she's suing Peter because the new husband ain't nobody checking for him. They just as dry as bone. Both of them dry, boring as ever. Now Kenya, oh, I want to leave my husband and all that type of stuff. I mean, come on. The show is boring. Y'all could have just went on and cut Nene Leakes that check, and y'all could have had somebody to hate on the show, and y'all could have been arguing. I don't believe that Kenya is going to divorce her husband. I don't believe that at all. I find this very suspect that they're announcing it during the heat of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They're just doing it to increase the ratings. Because I can guarantee she probably going to talk about it in the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode. Now, I'm not making this up. They are definitely suffering in the ratings. Shout out to sister, my sister, I love her dearly, Michelle Atielian. She reports on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she talks about the ratings, about how she talked about the different demographic. They're suffering in the ratings because You got to bring back your superstars, because if you remember, Nene want to add for a protest. Remember, she said she want to protest the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I remember when they announced Monique wanted to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and 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 it was so much buzz around that. And Monique was like, "No, no, I'm not doing that." Because Monique ain't in that spirit. She's all about my sister and her and daddy. But this is the thing. I hope that if Kenya and her husband are gonna break up, I just hope they get it together. And if they do have to break up, they have to break up. I understand it. But it's a lot of people on the Real House of Atlanta, they marriages don't work. It's a lot of those people that's on there, they marriages be breaking apart. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if these people just rush to get married just for the show, for the look, or just to get a baby and just say, "Oh, I'm married now," just to say I'm married now. But these folks, they marriages be flopping in a second. These people marriages they just be flopping, breaking up, divorce, remarry. I'm like, what is going on? And they don't stay married long like that. They don't. So I hope Kenya and her husband get it together. Candy marriage has stayed strong, yes, and I was shocked, but I'm glad Candy marriage stayed strong. Yes. Is that the only one that stayed married throughout it all? I think Candy marriage is the only one out of all the. And Nene, right? Her marriage, was she divorced Greg and got married with Greg again? When Nene or not, it's time for the show to end. Same boring story. It's time for it to end. You're right. Because people is tired of the same tired storylines. Either you're going to bring new talent on there, something different on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but other than that, the show is tired. And it's okay to say, let it go. It's okay. I agree with you, because it's the same tired storylines. And you can tell when something is over. I just think the show ran its course, and it's okay to say, let it go. You can't keep marriage away, never real in the first place. They swing, yeah, let me too. I'm reading y'all comments. But let's just say this. Do y'all think, okay, we're going to do a poll right quick, people. I know some of y'all getting out of church. Press 1 if y'all think it should end. Press 1 if y'all think that the show should end. Press 2 that you think the show should continue. Press 1 if you think the Real Housewives of Atlanta should end. Press 2, you think the show should continue. All right. I don't understand why almost all the housewives shows don't have married women. I don't understand that. You're supposed to be the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But these people, they don't stay married word for nothing. They ain't real. They don't really be in the house like that. They be all in the club. We over here and over there. And baby, the whole thing, the husband live in one state and this one live in another state. How you supposed to be married like that? You live somewhere in this state, this one live in another state. It's like, where is the unity? Where is the love? How y'all able to build something, you here and this one over there? I'm just saying. I just hope it ain't no cheating involved. Okay, is anything dealing with cheating? All right. Yes. Okay, let's move on. I said they should get Monique and T.S. Madison on there. They should. They should get Monique, get Kaya on there, be messy. Be real messy. They do need a new cast. Bring some new people. I would love to see who get Kaya, get Maddie. You know what I'm saying? Have Kaya to come and snatch Maddie wig off. Do all type of stuff. I mean, bring the drama. I want to see some tables follow. It needs some new drama. And just snatch the Kaya, just come in, gag order. I mean, it needs to be something different. They need to change the title. I think if Kaya not married, I'll marry Kaya for the show. Kaya, let's do a storyline. I'll be your beard. I'll marry you. Come on, Kaya. Let me be your beard. And I'll marry you. We could do a whole, or me and Michelle A.T. Elliott. Put Michelle on there and I could be her husband. Michelle, if you in the bushes, they need to put Michelle A.T. Elliott on there. I be her beard. I marry her. Yes, okay. We talk about this. Yes, let's do that. Let's come on, Michelle. Do you want to do it? What I would love to do, I would love to bury Michelle and see Elliot. We do an episode. We try to get different properties and stuff like that. I think it would be fun. I think I will read those. Okay. You said no. I still want no. I still want but no real house. Yes, Michelle. But Michelle was saying that she wouldn't do it. You said she wouldn't do it. Okay. I miss when they had more men on. Drew is boring to me, and Kenya is trying her best to stay on the show. I'm gonna need her to remove those contacts. They need Peter. They definitely need Peter back, and they need Greg. They need Peter. They need the people that made it work. And who was the other boyfriend? They definitely need uh they definitely need who else? Who else do they need? They need Peter, the other guy, the one that went to jail. Um, the one that went to jail. Y'all know who I'm trying to say. The one that went to jail. Apollo. Yes, bring Peter and Apollo back. The ratings will increase. Bring Apollo, bring Peter, bring Nene, bring Phaedra. They need to bring something. They need to bring something because I think there's going to be some good storylines. What y'all think? Okay, that's what they need to bring back. Ooh, shout out to y'all is watching the Wiley Show this morning on a Sunday. I was shocked. I didn't even think y'all were gonna come and watch us because we did a whole nother episode about not too long ago. And y'all show up today. Man, thank you. Thank you, producers. Shout out to the producer. I just want to say that y'all showed up again. Y'all love when the Wiley Show go live. Y'all had showed up again. We was just live a couple hours. Oh man, if they bring Jaguar and her husband on there, oh my God, I'm telling you, if they bring Jaguar right in her just Jaguar alone, baby, she gonna be dragging Kenya. She gonna be talking about her husband be touching folks. That's gonna be a show. Baby Candy gonna be crying. She gonna make Candy cry. She gonna be making Candy cry. I already know it. Like, yes, like come on. Y'all really believe that? Y'all really believe that? Baby, if they bring Jack, oh baby, Candy gonna cry. Yes, Jack don't have no. She don't even need no wardrobe. Just let Jaguar right come as she are. Come with her cigarettes. Just come on, and smoke her cigarettes and all that. I would love to see. I would actually start. Everybody, mama will be actually start watching. And please don't let this person come on there. What's up, Real Housewives? My name is Tasha K, and I'm a celebrity gossip blogger. Drop the wine glasses. I'm here with my husband, and how you doing? And all that. Hi, y'all. I am here. Hi. If they bring Tasha K on there, I'm telling you, I watch it every single episode. Baby, I'm watching every single episode. Her dropping wine. I can just see Phaedra now. Portia. I can see Portia now. Portia gonna be mad. I just want to see her. Portia go at it. I'm just telling you. They already gonna say, oh, I can just imagine. I can just imagine the confessionals. I was just imagine the confessionals. Oh, that's gonna be funny. Put Tasha on, yes. Now press 1 if Tasha K gets on Real House of Atlanta. Who would watch? Press 1 if you would watch. Press 2 you would not watch. If Tasha K get on Real Housewives of Atlanta, woo, that will be huge. That will be funny. There, press. I know everybody up in here gonna be watching. Even the ones that press 2 gonna be watching. They're gonna be in the chat watching. All right, White House. Boldly raise a glass. I like, oh my gosh, y'all don't understand. I like Tasha K. Boldly raise a glass. Like, what? And then what gets me when I be watching Tasha K, baby, them commercials be all loud. I'm like, what the world? Baby, baby, she would go on a commercial break. I don't care what nobody say. That's one thing you gonna get. You gonna get a bowl and raise a glass. Okay. This is why I don't drink wine. I drink coffee and water. I got that from Tasha because Tasha be drinking water, coffee. Her nose be she get the sniffles. I get the sniffles. Let me start. Okay. Let's move on. All right. Now, this is all about this next subject. We had our laughs. This next subject is a really, really heavy subject. Oh, no, before we get to that, let's get into Chloe and Halle. Okay, I didn't put their picture up. I'm sorry I didn't put their picture up. But Chloe and Halle, I am really living for. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. I was listening to their music after, who was that? Was that Chloe? After she did the Bust It challenge and she beautiful and thick. After I seen that, I went to their page and I download that album. I listened to that album. I know I'm late, but once I saw that Bust It challenge, I stopped everything that I was doing. And I went on and listened to Ungodly Hour, and I was listening to Do It. I was listening to Baby Girl Forgive Me. When I tell you, they are definitely talented. I am really living for those young ladies. They are extremely talented, y'all. And she did a good job. And I'm really loving it that they are on social media. They got their different pages now. I'm really living for it. And I think one of them, I think it was the oldest one. I think that's the oldest one is Chloe. I think she said she loves to watch YouTubers. So she watched YouTubers. Hopefully she watched the Wiley Show. But I am loving their music is so good. It's not like all that ratchet like club. It really got meaning in their lyrics. And I'm so glad that Beyonce let them be themselves and not trying to change them so much. They are actually talented. And when I listen to, oh my God, Busy Boy, oh my, it's just so much. And then wait a minute, Halle, was that Chloe? I think Chloe, she went on her page and she was working on a song. It was great. And Halle, I love her song. She had the guitar, and I was tearing up. I said, these women actually can sing. They have a little bit of the 90s flair, and I love it. I really, really love it too. Uh-huh. And don't get me wrong, I haven't really been listening to their album. This is my first time actually paying attention to their album, but I did hear they clips and like their performances and stuff. But once I saw that Bust It chat. Whoa, man. She did that. And I rewind. I was looking at it over and over. I was looking at that Bust It challenge, baby. I looked at that and I looked at that. Yeah, y'all need to go check that out, okay? I know I'm late. They don't know that movie what she did. That was a challenge. Yes, she did, but I got into that movie. Okay. Ooh, glory. Okay. 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 All right. Let's move on. All right. But I saw that. I couldn't stop looking. I got to do my busted challenge. You know what I grew up that, baby. I looked at it. All I could do was just, all you could do was just hug. Just give a good old hug. Okay. When I saw that, he heard my cry. Okay, all right, let's go. Man, when I saw that, okay. Woo. All right. Okay. All right. And I hope whoever marries her or get with her, treat her as a queen. I hope whoever marries her and or date her, don't mess around with her. Treat her as a queen. Don't mess around with her at all. Treat her good and everything like that. Who busted challenge is this? Oh, this is Kelsey busted challenge. Okay, Kelsey. Yeah, I see Kelsey busted challenge, but it ain't touch. It ain't touch Chloe. It ain't touch Chloe. I see that you sent it to me, producer. I saw it, but I saw Kelsey. It ain't. Oh, I see her. And she had a snake around her. She needs to stop. Ain't nowhere in the world I want you doing a bust up with a snake around your neck. You gonna need to get a review. I ain't nowhere. I don't want to see you doing. Listen here. I do not want to see you doing a busted chat with a snake around your neck. You gonna get thrown out in a rebuke. Do not you come in my house with no snake around your neck doing a busted challenge. You gonna get a rebuke. Now with them baby teeth and all that. No. No. I ain't with that. That's too far. You ain't gonna be having no snake around that. Talk about Kim and Wiley. Let me give you a lap dance. You got a snake around your neck. No, you gonna get a good old rebuke, and my security gonna throw you out, you and your snake. Okay, no way. I'm not with. There's a lot of things I'm into, but that I'm not into that. Now you got a snake around your neck. Kim and Wiley, let me do the busted challenge. No, you ain't gonna do the busted challenge. You gonna get thrown out with my security. Okay, you and that snake. What in the world that woman gonna put that snake around there, and she think it's cute? I see. Oh no. I don't want all that snake juices all around your yoni. I don't want no. I don't want no snake yoni. No. No. Let's move on. My security. Let's move on. All right. I want to get into this other subject. This is the last subject of the show. Very serious subject that I want to talk about. Incident happened in New York, I believe. 3 men assaulted a woman, robbed her outside of a Harlem liquor store. I'm going to read this to you all. You all did not hear it. 3 men kicked and bit and robbed a woman in a disturbing attack outside a Harlem liquor store this week, cops said. The 31-year-old victim was inside an 8th Avenue Liquor and Wine on West 128th Street near Frederick Douglass Boulevard around 5:50 p.m. Monday when 2 of the men tried to have a conversation with her, police said. She refused to talk to them and walk out of the store, according to cops. The duo followed her outside, where they were joined by the 3rd suspect. All 3 kicked her multiple times. One of them bit her on the forehead, police said. They grabbed the woman's iPhone 11, valued at $750, before taking off. The victim, who suffered a bite mark with a broken skin on her face, pain and bruising, were taken to the Harlem hospital in stable condition. The police are still looking for the suspects, one of whom were last seen wearing a red jacket and another one with a blue jacket. The 3rd suspect was wearing a red hoodie sweatshirt with a vest, denim vest over it. So I saw the clip, and the lady, they interviewed the victim, and they bit her. One of them bit her face and tried to bit her eyes. She couldn't even hardly see out of one of her eyes. And it's so sad because This woman, it was not in the middle of the night. She was getting a bottle of wine. One of the young men offered to pay for it. She said, "No, I got the money. Thank you, but I have it. I'm going to pay for my own bottle." They got mad. They started talking mess and did this to this woman. Now, this is where the community, Reverend Al Sharpton, Sean King posted, but Reverend Al need to be doing a press conference. This is when you call out. Like when we call out police brutality, yes, we can call that out. But when it's us in our community, when we act up, it's up to us to correct that and call that out, and the community come together. Because there's nowhere in the world you do this to this young woman. All she wanted to do was a bottle of wine. She was minding her own business. She didn't bother nobody. She was just getting a bottle of wine, just got off of work, and not trying to do no messed up stuff. Like those guys, they were wrong for doing that. They need to be charged and arrested. And better hope that people on the street don't get a hold to them and get that street justice, which I think they should get that street justice. And you get whooped and you get beat in your face, so you'll know how it feels. You don't be doing that. That woman, and when she did the interview, she had to run because one of the witnesses said, "Hey, you need to run because he might come back because he did this before." Like, this is the thing I want to tell the community. I'm saying, and I say this humbly. You must work with the police, and the police work with the community. If you seeing some things going around in your neighborhood, demand that store to have security outside. Demand that store to have security outside and security inside, so you don't have these problems. And also, too, this is why it's so important for the community to work with the police and the police to work with the community. And it should be some people on the street that should not be going on, and y'all correct that. Y'all know who these men are. People that live in Harlem, whatever area that was at, y'all know who they are. Turn them in. They need to be turned in. Because that could have been your sister. That could have been your mother. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's daughter. And she's a mother. And that's wrong. That is wrong. So I was glad to see that Sean King posted that. I'm glad to see other blogs posted that. It was a video that was surfacing. Was a lot of people outside the store. They trying to find like who the people that is. I do believe that they will be fine. I didn't get any updates yet. I'm going to give a special shout out because in the chat in that particular video, who was in there and asked for the GoFundMe? It was one person that was in there. What's her name? She used to be on The View. I saw her comment and she was in there. Shout out to Sherry Shepherd, and she was like, "Yeah, what's her GoFundMe?" Because I'm like, "Yeah, people can raise money for her." But I think I did DM Sean King. I'm waiting for a response to see like what's the update, where's her GoFundMe, so people can donate and give. So once I get an update on this situation, I definitely gonna update you all on this situation. Where's P Diddy? Where's 50 Cent? All of these black icons, all these black celebrities, all of these black rappers, people with influence. This is the time you use your influence. This is the time that you speak up. The same way y'all gave energy when that white woman did to that black man, that black boy. And I believe that happened in New York. Did that happen in New York? And it was like a big response. Keep that same energy when a black woman is being victimized. Keep that same, it should be the same outrage. The same outrage when that black teenager, when he was racially profiled by that white woman, or whatever, white woman with the cell phone, the same energy, the same type of protest, the same type of outrage need to be protecting this black woman, that justice be served when it comes to that. So that's what I said, protect black women, period. Because I saw somebody with that same title. I was like, I'm going to put that title for this particular episode. Lives up, and it should matter. That's not wrong. And ladies, please, when you go in these stores, please have somebody around you. I know this sounds outdated, or why you should say this, but please have somebody around, your brother, your cousin. Have people around you. Don't try to go in these stores by yourself. Don't try to go in these stores by yourself. Please have a brother, an uncle, a cousin. Go in a group, but don't try to go by yourself, because it's some men that do love to play that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna definitely DM the nation and see what they're gonna do, like the NOI brothers, and see what they're gonna do, because it's like they need to get involved. You know what I'm saying? Because that in that community, so all them local mosques and those like the local NOI chapters, and see what they're gonna do, because that's our sister. Like, that's wrong. That's crazy. Why would you bother? She said no. You up there trying to pay for a drink because you want to hit. She wasn't interested. She had her own money. She don't need you to pay for her drink, and she don't need you to pay for her bottle of wine. And leave it alone. Leave it alone. Say okay, all right, leave it alone. But you follow her outside. Come on, that's crazy. That is crazy. That is so crazy. You follow this woman outside. This woman didn't bother you. She's minding her own business. Mind your own business. And you have to be very aware. If I'm going to say this, and I know people are going to get offended. For me, if I see a group of young guys in the store, I don't go in like that. Like a liquor store, I turn the other way. That's just me. I'm not afraid. I just don't want no trouble. I just don't want no problems. If I see a group, whatever, it's a group, and if they don't look right, they don't feel right, I don't go up in the store. If they don't look right, I'll wait to go somewhere else and wait till they leave, and then I go in the store. I don't care what nobody said, but why? What you saying? I said what I said, and I said it crystal clear. I am not going in there. Period. When I look up in there, if I see some guys, I don't go up in there. If I see a bunch of people in front of the store, I don't go to the store. I wait to have to go somewhere else, and I just have to say, hey, I won't be going. If it's like a group of people in front of the store, oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're not going to see me. And that's, it's crazy. So it's all about protect Black women. And I will keep y'all updated on this. And like Roland Martin need to talk about this. Like y'all keep the same energy, but talk about this. And I'm glad that Sean King did post that on there, because I was about to go in. I'm like, Sean King, you ain't posted. But I looked on his page, and he did posted it on his page and stuff like that. And I don't know if the Shade Room posted it. I think the Neighborhood Talk posted it, but all of them need to post it, and they need to find them, because the two guys that do have the picture, like the video on the surveillance camera, they are on there. So hopefully they find it, and people they're gonna find them, because there's somebody in the neighborhood gonna talk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I ain't got time. That's why it's important to take self-defense classes, have some mace, and take a self-defense classes as well. Ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? Now after dark, either unless I'm with my husband, right? And it wasn't even dark. It was like 5 o'clock. 5, 6 o'clock, 5 some o'clock. It ain't even nighttime. That I don't know if it's dark at that time, but it ain't like it's 5 some in the morning or 12 at midnight. So for the people that are just joining it was a a Black woman, and was in a store, and a liquor store in Harlem, and she was trying to she got off work, she's getting a bottle of wine, and one of the young men asked her, hey, let me pay for it. She said, no, I got the money, but thank you, I don't need it. And she left out of the store. They followed her, confronted her. Oh, you think you better than us? And blah, blah, blah. They took her phone. They stumped on her. They bit her face, scratched up her face. And like, she can't hardly see out of one of her eyes. So it's really like, I was hurt when I saw it. I was disturbed, and I was outraged. Also, 5 p.m. get dark on the East Coast side. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. So, ladies, please go early. It gets dark in New York. Okay, that's in New York. It gets dark okay. So if it's dark, have somebody go with you. You know what I'm saying? If you just need a bottle of wine or something, but don't go by yourself, ladies. That's one thing that I learned. I don't know who said it. I believe Elijah Muhammad said, if you got to go out at night, have a man, have your brother, but do not go out by yourself. Don't be, do it by yourself. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, please, especially the women, do not be trying to go out by yourself. And that's one thing I didn't like about my grandmother. Lord have mercy. She would have us going to the hood. We would get out of church. My grandma said, "Ooh, I got a taste of some fried chicken." I'm like, okay. We would go to the most dangerous places where the thugs and stuff at. And I had to go. And I had to go. We go in there, me and my grandmother, we go into these restaurants, because she had to go. She would go to the dancing place, and I would get out the car, and I would go. She said, "Why you get out the car?" I said, "If you getting out the car, I'm getting out the car. I'm not staying in the car. You going in there by yourself. I'm gonna go in there and all that," because she know what she wanted, stuff like that. And but yeah, I remember that. We would get out of church but they had the best chicken though, even though you got to get through the thugs, but that chicken was good. Yeah, that was some good chicken. Man, I don't know if that place still. That's one thing about Chicago. After we used to get out that Friday night service, we used to go on Friday night. That was before Uber Eats. That was before all that stuff. Now it's easier. We can do like Uber Eats and stuff. That was before all that. That was before all that. They ain't had that back when I was coming up. Now they got it. It's just some of the suburban areas are dangerous. Yes, some of the suburban areas are dangerous too. Excuse me. And so I'm gonna open up the phone lines to see what Charlotte opinion about the matter. And I want to say good morning to all the producers. I want to say special shout out today. I want you all to go check out Day. I have our moderator.
Your show now. Press 1 to hear important instructions.
Your show is scheduled to start in 15 seconds.
You're in the chat. Let me see if she's in the chat.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And y'all go check her out if y'all into gaming.
Blog Talk Radio.
So some of my moderators that's content creators, I'm gonna be like going on their channels and doing stuff. So I gotta go in the game. Yes, she probably sleep. She probably sleep because we was up late. Yes, I just wanted to talk about my great night. Okay, all right. We could call in and whatever you want to say. The number is open. All right, let's get give us a 300 likes, y'all. Like that. And shout out to the people that called in. That watched us yesterday. We actually did a show. I want to say this, and I also my volume is low. Okay, how is it now? Is it? You said my volume is low. It should be better now. Good morning. Okay. Oh, I think we got some New York people calling in. All right. Hopefully it's good now. 1753, call you on there.
How you doing, Wiley? How are you?
All right. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I am from New York. I'm from Brooklyn to be exact, but the crime in Brooklyn has risen to a whole new level. They even stealing USPS trucks. It was on the news. I don't know if you saw it recently, but it was like a wild goose chase with the police, and she was trying to steal the postal service truck. They robbed the EMT truck. It's just crazy in New York right now.
Because my thing is this, and this is where I come in. This is where I want to suggest. This is why you need more resources in the community, as well as policing. But if you invest resources and then sometimes if it get too out of hand, I'm sorry. Sometimes get the National Guard. Baby, get the National Guard out there. You know what I'm saying? If it gets
I do, but I feel like it depends. Cause I feel like now, due to gentrification, police officers will more patrol those areas that come to the areas that really need it.
Right, and that's so
the areas
wrong.
That have right, but the areas that have the white people moving in, the cops patrol outside and nothing's going on. And when you call them, it takes forever to come. I'm telling you.
And this is why people listen to me clearly. Get involved into your city council. Y'all, we have to actually get involved and demand they change it because and have more policing. And if you need help, get the National Guard to help. To be out there post, I feel more protected. They be out there in the street because it's getting out of hand. I did see when they took the UPS, the truck, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you took the mail truck. I hope wasn't nobody's stimulus check on there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's getting crazy and it's savage. Okay, and they don't care. They don't care.
Yes. And this is where the community have to care. You, the people that pay taxes, like you, ma'am, if you work, a group of people that work and pay taxes need to go to City Hall and say, hey, whoever my alderman, city council, y'all got to do this. Get your phones out, protest, and demand that Reverend Al Sharpton say, hey, we got to clean up our neighborhood and raise
Not only that, we also need to be going to we need to go to these community meetings. A lot of people don't like to go to community meetings that they have. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that are in Brooklyn that people can actually get involved in and get the word out, right? But people like to say they don't have time. Well, we need to make time in order for our area to be a better place.
You need to make time. It needs to be a place where the community yourselves be on conference call like once a week to know what's going on in your neighborhood, knowing the neighbors, bringing back the neighborhood watch, and communicate with somebody from the police department as well as City Hall. But if you don't give a damn about your community, City Hall ain't gonna give a damn. They're not going to care.
The thing about it is, we not only that, Wiley, but we also have to stop having a negative outlook when it comes to police. I do understand, at some extent, I do understand.
Right.
I do understand how people feel, but we still need to be able to make sure we call them and we're keeping them abreast on what's going on, because ultimately they're the only ones who could really stop it. I mean, yes, we could take matters into our own hands, but by that time comes, I mean,
they pose a police, they pose a protect and serve. What we're saying is we don't want to erase police. It's some good police officers, but the same way, like this lady, the same way you go in these areas that's gentrified and you patrol in the neighborhood, the same thing that goes in DC. They be all in them neighborhoods as being gentrified, but other areas is crime. Keep that same energy in the areas where it's low income. But this is where the federal government as well as the state, if the area is low income, put more investments in those areas, put more resources in those areas, because don't just say police and police and police. We got to reimagine policing and also say we need resources with the police patrolling the streets. But if you're not giving these communities resources and mental health counselors, it's just an issue and a problem, because when you go to those areas that are gentrified, they got good investments, grocery stores, multi-million-dollar units.
Not even grocery stores. They got actually healthier food.
Right.
Okay, healthier food choices. Okay, they got bookstores, coffee shops, things that we probably really don't have unless you're trying to move the Black people out. You get what I'm saying? So we also need to make sure we come together as a community and we ask for that and we demand that.
Especially, and this
is because one thing I'll tell you about the gentrified communities is that they come together.
Oh yes.
They sit and they talk and they do a whole bunch of protesting and saying they want this and they want that, and they will not stop until they get it. However, we need to make sure we are bonding together more.
And going to those meetings, let me tell you, areas out here in Dallas, like Frisco, Plano, let some pop off where they don't want I remember they tried to put public transportation in Frisco. Them white folks, they came, they said, we don't want it. They can't, and guess what? They ain't got no buses and no trains. You can't get no buses, no train. They stopped it because they protest. And they went to those meetings. We have to apply pressure to those city council workers. And if they don't do see, this is how it's work. You elect somebody that believe in your vision, and you boots on the ground, you apply the pressure. So if I'm representing this district or this area, my job is easier because y'all are applying pressure out there. So when I come in, hey, my people is here. Represent. What do y'all do? Wards? Like what how do y'all represent the area where the city council represent? What do y'all go by? Districts or wards? What do y'all go by? But whatever.
So it goes by district, and sometimes it goes by county.
Yeah, district
and county. You might have like another county and things of that nature, and they have like a county office. I mean,
and then what the city what the city council person have to do too. They need to be out on the street knocking on doors, going in a community with the police, because they got power too. They need to be out there live streaming, get the media out there, Roland Martin Unfiltered, get Black media, and actually touring the neighborhood and demand and work with Reverend, whatever political folks that's there, and demand that say, ASUS, y'all need to come to these meetings. ASUS, come, we need a brother, you need to come here, work with the different religious groups. But actually, how often do you see your district or your city council person actually in the area, actually out there shaking hands, just out there?
They never really shake hands. What they do is they have like their party. They'll like, I remember one time they had they used to give out like hand sanitizers and gloves and be like, you should vote for this person, you should vote for that person. Or what they do is they get your number, which I don't even know how they have my number. They get your number and they text you telling you to vote for this person. And then when you ask them about their policies, okay, or what you're going to do about a particular policy, you never even get a text back.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, that's the problem. It needs to be some people that's in their hands on, because I do believe if it's some people that's really putting hands on in their district and they really people get to know them, like the community will react more. But if they feel like they person is not there, a lot of times the community won't get active in there. And that's why I need to know who's running and all that. We got to be more politically involved, even on this show. And I need to travel more. I'm like, what the world is going? Because Chicago the same way, baby. The crime in Chicago just out of hand. People getting carjacked. Rob, I'm like, really? Carjack. I thought carjacks was out. I thought that was outdated. People still carjacking people.
Let me tell you, in the Bronx, they steal a lot of cars. Okay, my godbrother, he got his car stolen at this like she lived like in like this new building. So you know they're doing like they're building all of these new buildings up and things like that. They have a parking lot. His car got stolen in the parking lot.
Wow.
And I was like,
that is so crazy. I'm like, it's real. It's something. But again, we have to. We need to travel and get the footage. Yeah, we need to be out there traveling. Honestly, I got to put boots on the ground and actually travel and actually talk to the community and show the people. That's one thing about the civil rights era. They plan, they strategize. They have to do a lot of planning. You understand? Like we doing, we talking. Okay, what's the plan? What we need to do? And get another group of people, then get another group of people, and then you work with different advisors, people that's been doing the work for years, and they give us advice. Okay, Wiley, okay, sister, this is what y'all need to do. This is who y'all need to tackle. This is where the money coming from, because a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people that will help us, but we have to do that and network and go out there and see what's really going on. And you can't be scared because this is our community. This is our neighborhood. I remember just something small. We didn't have no speed humps, and we got a school right across the street from my grandmother Leah. And so they was just, my brother had got hit by a car, actually, by the way. And I remember I called, contact the alderman, and I was on the phone. And they put the speed hump, but then they paved the street and they removed the speed hump. So I called again. I say, listen, everybody in my home is registered voters, and we vote for y'all every season. We need those speed humps back, and we got it. And my grandmother was shocked. She was like, "How was you able to get them to come out?" Because I called them. And I knew, and I started to research. I'm like, dang, also they get a couple of $1 million to take care of things in the neighborhood. You know, your city council person get a certain budget to take care of what's going on in their district. But how many regular folks in their neighborhood, in our neighborhoods, actually know that? If you're not educated to it, you don't know that you could request. I remember my grandmother needed a roof. I found it was a special program to help seniors with roofs and porches. And I was researching that, and my grandmother was able to get a porch for free, and the city paid for it. But she didn't know it, but I did the research. So it's a lot of things out there. Once you read and get it, you can get a lot of assistance, but we have to get active and actually get involved. You're right about that. Every meeting now, everybody, it needs to be 100 folks in that meeting. It needs to be 200. It needs to be so packed.
Like, all right, for example, right? So like in Brooklyn, when they build a new building, right? They build it in a parking lot. So it's really small. It blocks the sunlight of other buildings, okay? Disrupt the electricity and things of that nature. But guess what? Because the Jewish people are building them, nobody really go ahead and protest. But when we have, letters in the mail about, okay, well, there's going to be a meeting, a community meeting about the buildings and things like that, nobody shows up. Nobody shows up to them when they go ahead and build the building and they realize they can't get in, or there's like, a lot of things that are wrong with them. They don't really know exactly where to turn. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you must read your mail. We get a lot of mail in New York that tells you, okay, you need to come out for this. You need to be doing this. Meet us at this time and this place. But people do not show up. I get it in my mail, so I know other people get it too.
Yeah, and they need to try a different way and stuff like that. But thank you, man, for letting us know what's really going on. But did they catch those people that did that to that young lady? Do you know any updates on that case?
On which case? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The young lady in the liquor store. Did you hear about that story?
I haven't heard anything, but you know what it is all we gotta do. I'll keep my ears to the street because most times the streets will know before it hits the media.
Okay.
And if something happens, I would definitely put it in the chat.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, sister.
All right, no problem. Have a good day, Wiley.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, we got that caller called in from New. Oh, damn. That was another New York caller. Call back in. I'm sorry. 8018, caller, you on the air. I hung up on the other New York caller. Call back in. 8018, good morning.
Hey, Wiley, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say to all of the ladies and gentlemen that are in the chat, you need to get a license to carry. if you do not have any felonies, I do believe it's felonies. I'm not sure about misdemeanors, but you can get a license to carry. I've had mine for, well, you know what I did. I've had mine for years.
Yeah.
And I do carry. You know, you have to protect yourself at all costs, because I'm going to be honest with you, mace and a little knife, that's not going to do it. I mean, you see what happened to her.
Yeah.
It was 3-on-1. You know, you get a license to carry. And as far as DC is concerned, because I heard you mention DC, for it to be so small, for this to be a city, DC is packed with crime. You have gentrification, you know, in certain areas, you have mixed races, and that used to be all Black areas. It's mixed now, but there's still a lot of crime. DC goes off of districts and wards. Like, I'm going to use, for example, District 6, right? The 6th district alone has so many kids. You have kids that had kids that had kids. You're talking about a 30-year-old mother that might be a grandmother whose kid had a kid. You have so many kids in east of the river in wards, I think it's 8, 7, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
So many kids, so much crime. And as far as giving resources, and I'm just talking about what I know, you can, they have a lot of resources over there. They have a lot. They have coffee shops, grocery stores, this, that, you know, because you do have people, the older generation, that do complain about give our youth this and that. They even have programs where they bus the kids out of the area to better areas. You know, like they have a school that was designed by lawyers. They bus those kids out of that area when school is every single day so that they can study. They give out scholarships, money. It's overpouring with money from private industries. I'm not talking about the mayor, you know. And like I said, you have the older community that goes to these meetings. You can't just go to a meeting when crime occurs. You can't just go to when the police and the mayor are giving are having a community meeting. You can't just go then. You have to consistently go. Let them see you. You need to be vigilant, be present. I'm not telling you to go out here and try to be Superman and try to stop the crime before it starts.
What do you suggest that to get people energized to go to those meetings? What do you suggest that need to happen? What is your suggestion to get the people to come out?
When you see your own people being murdered every day, that's the reason you should go.
Mm-hmm. And
no one should have to tell you. I'm sorry. I don't believe that I should have to tell you to come. Me seeing my people slaughtered by my people every day. Yeah, you have murders, you have crimes that are committed by officers, but I'm talking about the majority. In DC alone, in District 6 and 7, where I worked, you have more crimes being committed by my people. Let me tell you what used to happen. My shift used to start at 5:30, right? 5:30 a.m. And we knew from 5:30 to 11 o'clock, we hardly got any calls. And this is in the highest crime areas. Do you know what time people over there would get up? Take a guess.
In the middle of the day?
In the middle of the damn day. Mm-hmm. Never checked off on time. They got up late, and you know what? Fighting. Instantly, we knew on certain days, domestic violence calls. We knew we didn't have a lot of homicides on Fridays because people was getting ready. You know, it's the weekend. Mind you, they don't work. It's the weekend, get ready to start. We got majority of our homicides on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Now that's a shame. I know right off the bat when things were going to happen. Certain days were domestic violence days, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, everybody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
We knew when the homicides were coming. You can give kids there. DC, I don't know about any other state, but DC alone has so many programs geared to the youth. You have so many people that are starting nonprofits geared to the youth that don't use the money for the kids. But when you have these white people coming with them, they're using the money for the kids. You know why? Because they know they're going to get even more money. They're opening up schools. No one should have to tell you to come to a community meeting to voice your opinion, because every day that you look at your child or you open your blinds, especially you living in the hood, you open your blinds, that's enough to make you want to go. We need this, we need that. Anacostia. Those of you that live in DC, Anacostia alone, gentrified. They got coffee shops. Okay, that you're talking about Bizzuto apartment buildings. If you know about builders, look up Bizzuto. Bizzuto builders are the top of the line, and they have all of that over there. Subway, everything. They're giving out money to blacks to open up businesses. They want you to open up businesses. And if you don't, you need me, you know, they can hit you up and I'll give you some information if people in DC are interested in that. We have stuff that's called Main Streets. Main Streets is geared towards people that want to open up businesses, especially blacks. We don't use it. The first thing we want to open up is a clothing store. No, we got to think bigger. And when you do open up these businesses, you have to give back. Pull some of these kids out there that you see walking up the street every day. You can get a summer job at 14. Come on in my store and work for me. That's what you do. But you do not need me or the mayor or anyone else to come out. The police chief, let me tell you how they do. Kathy Lanier, she left, she retired, and now she's over top of the NFL. She used to give out her cell phone number. She was a white woman, got kids to about 1,000 kids. Parents used to call her on a cell phone. We need this, we need that. It used to get done. If you are not active in your community, you cannot expect change. What happened in New York was absolutely disgusting. And you know what? New York is totally different. The people, the community, they are going to find out who did it if they don't already know. And those people will be brought to justice. They will.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if you expect change, you got to get out here.
All right.
You have to get out here and make change. You can't expect it to happen if you aren't doing anything to help.
Facts.
And stop opening up these freaking clothing stores. What the world? You gonna sell a t-shirt, you open up, but they're giving you money to open up a store in the hood. That's good. But you're charging $60 and $70 for a t-shirt to people that are on Section 8. I don't get it. You know, we got to think. I'm for my people. I am a Black woman and I'm for my people, period.
We thank you so very much.
If you have any questions for me?
No. Well, like I said, it's pretty much what I think I suggest. I was looking at what they was doing in Georgia with Black Voters Matter, how they went in the neighborhoods with a truck and they had a van. And I would love to see more organizations out there hitting the blocks, going to the neighborhoods, letting know, educating the people, going to the churches, getting the churches and the youth groups involved. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have to rally, you do have to market, because a lot of people don't know, you know what I'm saying, that they can actually voice
that here in DC. They pick you up. They do all of that.
Right. And for the crime for DC, honestly, you see how they stopped the Capitol that day, you know, they ain't stopped it the first day. Let's let them in. But they can stop it. I don't understand where that was not DC police. Let me explain something. That was Capitol. I'm talking about the Capitol Police,
and
you know,
are not It was capital, and no other jurisdiction is allowed. That's totally separate. You cannot go. We're not even on the same radio wave as them. If they do not ask for permission, you see the chief of police over there at Capitol Police step down. Did you hear why he stepped down? Because he was asking for the National Guard and DC police to come and assist, and the House said no.
The House said no, right? It's like a different price, but I want to
The
say this
House
though.
said no.
With the crime, and I don't understand it, because you got the Secret Service, you got the Capitol Police, you got the DC Police, you got so many police agencies. DC should be the most safest city in America. I don't understand it.
Do you understand when you have babies having babies, having babies, having babies? It is so many youth committing crimes, murders. Let's talk about first part one offenses: murders, robbery while armed, carjacking, kidnapping, rape.
Why can't these people be out there patrolling the streets like they patrolling the Capitol and the White House? That's my understanding.
Wiley, that's totally different.
I'm just saying, why can't they apply that strat? For me, I think I would be a conservative, because if I was running the city, I would say patrol the streets. Let's crack down on these on crime. You have to literally, but then also let's put the resources, let's know these crime, and then patrol. They get on bikes, get on foot, control these neighborhoods like you control in the White House. That's the type of mindset they need to have in these neighborhoods. I don't understand that. Even with Obama, this is where I look. Because with Obama, right, when President Obama was elected, his whole block was shut down. You had to show IDs. You just couldn't pull up on this block, right? 3 blocks down, Kenwood, that's next to Hyde Park, people getting shot and killed. And I'm like, why can't the police have that same type of strategy to lock down a neighborhood on his area when not a peep of crime? You couldn't sneeze without them noise over there. But 3 blocks down, crime just running rampant. That to me,
Wiley, unless you are doing that job, and this is the best way to put it to any of you, unless you did that job or you're doing that job, you will never understand.
Right, and I know it's a very complex.
Been off in 2 fucking weeks.
It is.
He has not had a day off in 2 weeks. The crime is off the hook.
It's a very complex.
Kids.
I know that piece. You got the kids. Then you have poverty. You have people that are living from check to check. You have people that feels as though the system forgotten about them for generations. It's not enough generational wealth. So it's a very complex. It's not just one situation. Economically, the government is deserving to give more investments and resources to the neighborhood. Right, I would say more free school, college, and in those, you should be able to go to school for free. I mean, you should be able to get your nurse's degree for free. They have to do something in those neighborhoods to make people say, okay, people in this zip code, this low income, all right, everybody can go to college, university, and nursing for free. That will change that neighborhood within the next 4 years, because all those people that will go, they will make more money. That means they're going to invest in the neighborhood. That means investors going to be like, okay, all these people minimum income have raised because their educational level raised. So I just think the government also got to do it better. Don't you think about that when the education with the college, with free college and free university, do you think that they need to implement that piece to help people get to be able to get access to more money instead of just having the same low income, these low minimum wage jobs?
I do agree with that. I do. I totally agree with that. I do believe that would help, but you have to understand something, and this is for anybody. You are always going to have people that don't want any better.
Right.
They like what they do. They love how they live.
Right, because I think it will never be a perfect
system. They love
system.
living off the system.
I think it will never be a perfect system, but it will help to add more life to these, because some neighborhoods need life. Yes. They need some life. And
I agree.
They need assistance in those neighborhoods, even though we know everybody's not going to do it. But for those that will do it, it will give that community more life. You know what I'm saying? More, it would breathe different life, and that will help change the condition of so many African American people as well as Hispanics or whomever. If Biden say right now, if the government, let's say college university free, that literally, I'm going back for my bachelor's for criminal justice, going for my master's, going for my PhD. My economic status is going to change because why? I want to have the education and I'm going to be able to get these good high paying jobs with technology and everything. That's going to change the condition of so many people. Period. I don't even mind paying more in taxes. If you got money, you ain't gonna mind paying more in taxes. Only people that don't like paying a lot in taxes when you ain't really making money like that. But if you making money like that, you want mind paying couple of extra dollars more in taxes if you're getting something out from the deal. I personally believe that even though they suspend us, like the payments, the student loan payments, they put a freeze to it. Make college and universities make it free, or at least make.
I agree.
Or at least make community college free. And make, or put a freeze or put a cap on how much they can charge you and all of that, or give a low interest loan. Or this program, I think they already have it, where if we'll go by your income instead of just charge you a certain percentage, we'll just charge you a certain piece of your income. But that only works if you're making a good income, because if you ain't making that much, you should be able to pay that much in back of your loans. So that's what I think. Or you should be able to pay your loans up to 4 years and then the rest you just be forgiven or something like that. But I'm gonna go to the next.
Agree.
I'm going to the next caller, but I will tell you this: like you said, you worked the street, you did this job, you did the service. It's a very complex situation because you're dealing with generational neglect. You're dealing with decades of neglect, so it's going to take multiple solutions. It ain't just one solution; it's multiple solutions to this problem because you're dealing with an area that was neglected for decades. It's areas that's been neglected since they were protesting when Dr. King was when them areas still didn't come back from the you know what I'm saying? From areas that had with Ferguson and all that. So it's just a lot that we have to do. I just think we got to, do it one step at a time, in my humble opinion.
And you have to get out there. You have to get out there and be vigilant and let them see who you are.
Yes.
Let them come in your house.
Yes.
Ask them, how would you feel if you lived here? But don't just go to one meeting, y'all.
You got to go to
all of them.
Yes. And that's why I'm getting some areas in Dallas. They are letting me know, like, it's a couple of meetings where they're doing like virtual stuff now. But even when stuff open back up, so I will be more equipped and more knowledgeable of the community stuff that's going on here in Dallas. So you're going to see different experts. And like I tell, if you're an expert and stuff, you want to come on station on StreamYard, you can come on StreamYard. But we thank our moderator. She knows what she's talking about because she did the work. She was on the front lines and she see that it's an issue and you have her records. People, if they understood the type of work that you do, you understand what you're talking about. Listen.
Yeah, and I'm proud to say I did it. I'm proud to say I did it because I changed lives. I wasn't out there violating people. I was changing lives. I was encouraging people, get out of the hood.
Yes.
I don't know how many kids I brought to my own home.
Come on.
I didn't have any problems, thank God, but I brought them in my home.
Yes.
Friends with their parents to this day.
Facts.
Help them. I wasn't just a money bag. I was helping people. And I'm proud to say that I did it.
Yes, this is.
All right, Wiley, go ahead.
All right,
to the
thank
next
you,
caller.
D. That's D. She's just the moderator.
All right.
So I don't know who she is. All right, thank you, D. Okay, let's go to the next call. Let me bring this New York caller. 9867 caller, you on air.
Hi, Wiley and Chad. This is the voice from New York. I'm just calling in. I called in before, but we got disconnected.
Yeah, I had
so a lot of things impact here. I feel as if we tend to ignore the systematic racism that put us in poverty to begin with. And what we're doing is that we're assuming that because we did it, and I'm someone who graduated from college. I got a degree in chemistry, so a BS in chemistry. I'm also in professional school, right? Health-related professional school to get a terminal degree, which is everyone should like a DDS, a MD. That's like a terminal degree. But I can't assume because I made it out that others are lucky to make it out. Now, statistically, I'm from Brooklyn. In my neighborhood right now, because I'm 32, everyone that I know from high school in my area, especially if they're men, they already died from gun violence. or in jail. Those are the only two places they are in. The women had children when we were in high school. Some of them already have 3, 4 kids, and they're now in their 30s. So it's like a poverty that's inbreeding with cycle, right? And poverty begets poverty, and cycle always happens. Now, if you're in a certain lower income community, a lot of them have single mothers. The fathers aren't there. Sometimes it's not the mother's fault. It's never the mother's fault, right? Men should be there for their responsibilities. If they cannot provide for a child, because it takes 2. If you cannot provide for a child, have a vasectomy. They don't do that. They impregnate women. And of course, there's not a lot of education about pregnancy, about birth control as much in the areas that we're in. Okay. So it's kind of like, oh, if I did it, why can't you? The rule book is not the same. And I feel like we're putting too much, we having too much harsh criticism on something that is not our fault, that comes from the higher ups, right? We had our own. We did. We had Black Wall Street. We had all these communities. Before we were integrated, we had a lot of stuff. Then our communities were sabotaged by government through the crack epidemic. That broken up homes. Then the welfare system came in and showed that we were the ones on welfare. We're not the most ones on welfare. Let's be honest. White people are the ones who's taking all these benefits, but they're not the face of taking all these benefits. We are. So then we are in overcrowded schools. Overcrowded schools with kids who have ADHD, kids who have learning disabilities. They don't know the resources, so now they're disruptive in class. So only a select few students are going to flourish in class because the teachers are underpaid, the books are not good, they have metal detectors, the principal don't care. What should a child do at that point? They have a single mother household, the mom is working. So the kid is by themselves. The community is going to take care of them. The boys that they're looking up to, since there's no father figure, are going to look at the ones who are making the money. They're not going to look at the ones who are doctors and lawyers because they don't know anyone who are doctors and lawyers. And in my area, I'll be in my family, I'll be the first, right? So here and it's harder to raise a guy than it is to raise a woman. And there's a lot of, there's different complexities to deal with both of them. But what I'm saying is, look at Chicago with Cabrini Gardens versus Taylor projects that happen and where they put them in those communities, broke it down, and they still have a problem. Government know what they're doing. They're like, this is a Black genocide. Let the Blacks kill the Blacks because they're not going to give us anything. We are the most creative race out there. Everything was built based on our hard work, but we're the lowest behind. Our wealth gap is going to, be so far behind than any other race. We don't own anything. Then we don't learn these things in school. I didn't learn about financial literacy, stocks, loan. I learned that as I go along by meeting the right people when I went to college. And thank God I went to an HBCU. So that even helped me even further. But I had to surround myself. And I was around students who came from 2-parent households. Not saying my parents were not together, but my father is very involved in my life and they have a good relationship. But I was with, girls who came from Jack and Jill families.
Because with me,
who came from that type of area.
We have to demand of our government and not just.
But how can you demand something you don't know what to demand?
But this is why for those that are educated, for those that went to school, got their PhD,
them, right?
and they
like I can't blame.
And what I'm saying is, for people that is educated, I think it's a requirement to help those back in the neighborhood to educate people about things that are going on. If you make it out, at least give back. There's nothing wrong with giving back to your community by giving them the knowledge and understanding about what's going on, because it's a lot of money that the government just give away and just disperse, and that money needs to be also given to those in those areas that have been neglected for decades. And this is why it is so important.
But then you have that mentality where, if you do go back, right, which I try to go back to my elementary school to show them like how it is to go to college, to expose them to HBCUs, and I also do a lot of mentorship, even this online program. And there's other, there's something called iMentor, where you could just be online and you just you email a young student and then you meet them once a month at their institution, right? So I do those mentoring programs. At the same token, when you go back, you're looking at the sellout because you made out the hood. It depends on the community you come from, right? Like I'm from Brooklyn, like I said, so and my area is now getting gentrified. But look at the other places like Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, okay, where they don't care as much as they should because they feel like black
and
lives
can
are
I say
irrelevant.
this? Somebody said, don't beg the white man. It's some black people that got the purse strings too in government.
No,
I just want to say that, like, it ain't just the white man got the purse strings. It's some black folks that in government that's sitting on the purse strings too. So it ain't just, it ain't about our begging. It's about a requirement that we get those resources, because you're paying taxes. When people say don't beg the white man, no, I'm telling him to give me a piece of my money back that I'm paying in taxes. Everybody in here, if you're doing right, pay taxes to the IRS. So what we're saying is put some of that money that we gave to you and put it back to the neighborhoods that's getting neglected. That is what I'm saying. I ain't begging. You already put into the system. I'm just saying reallocate some of that money into those neighborhoods. Like everybody else.
But how government thinks about it is like, why should I do that if they get a lot of money from us going to prison system, right? Because prison's a business. They get money from that. They get so much. We are 13% of the population, right? I think, or maybe no more than 20%. But we don't have as much. We really don't. Now, I'm Caribbean, so I'm Jamaican, so it's like different compared to culture, because sometimes it could be a culture thing too.
Right, because let's be clear. Can I say this, not to cut you off? Just look with the drugs, the war on drugs. They need to stop that. Stop with the war on drugs. It ain't going to work. Legalize it all, tax it, and put it back into the neighborhood. Because people going to do drugs regardless. So why not legalize it, get rehab place, people that need rehab and all that. You might as well legalize it. Marijuana, we need to fight to make that legal in all states. That should not be a crime to smoke some weed. That should not be a crime at all. And the money that the states make need to go back in all the neighborhoods and put it in those neighborhoods. And then also when y'all get it, to make sure that it goes back into those neighborhoods. So this is why we got to get involved. And there's some people that's out here really working for that. You know what I'm saying? What we're saying is actually people putting in work for a lot of the things that we are talking about.
But think about it, Wiley. Okay, if they legalize weed, which they should also expunge everybody.
Expunge the records, right? Because they make the law, they could put that in there.
They won't, because the people who are capitalizing on weed are white folks. They're the ones who's buying the weed dispensaries.
Because what I'm saying is, this is why with those laws, and I believe Congress, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they passed that law maybe like a year ago to make marijuana legal. I could be wrong, but I think they passed something like that. I know in Michigan they're trying to get that together, but I just think that they should expunge that on there. And this is why it's so important for us. And this is why it's for us to have these conversations, right? And not only talk about it, but also get involved and put the work in. But it is organizations that is actually putting in the work. I'm not going to say nothing is changing, because it's some people that's out here putting in work, making sure people are getting out of jail. Look at what's going on in Florida when felons couldn't even vote. But those people got together, those African-American people, though it's a group out there that the Second Chance Act to really help African Americans, particularly all people that was a felon in Florida couldn't vote if you were a felon, whether you were black or white or whatever. But they put a petition and they put the vote up in Florida. And now if you're a felon, you get your right restored to vote. But that would have never happened if people did not put the boots on the ground, promote the petitions, and actually put in the work. So change can happen if we actively, collectively, as a group, as a people, get involved.
I agree, and let's talk about how we don't have the black leaders like we used to. They have been very complacent. They have been very complicit to a lot of things that's going on. Okay, when we had before we had like the Fred Hamptons, the MLKs, the Malcolms, people who were actually putting the boots to work. To this day, I don't know who is the new leader to
I don't think we just gonna. I think our world is so advanced. I don't think it's just one leader. I think what is going to happen is just multiple groups that is out there. You know what I'm saying? And what we should have. Well, okay. This is what I want to do. Me and you got a group. We gonna focus on legalizing marijuana. Okay. This other group, they focusing on. Okay, we want to make sure we go fair housing. what we have to understand is we can't try to change everything. You have to pick up issue for how I look at it. You have to, and I think Roland Martin said this, and I agree with him. You have to pick an issue and stick with that issue. Then this person have an issue, they stick with that issue. With the issue that's going on in New York, it needs to be organizations in New York that is dedicated to change, to make sure Brooklyn is treated right. The people that live in Brooklyn, those residents that do not have the income to get those multi-million-dollar homes, that they are getting access and ways to get more of the income so they can afford to stay in their neighborhood. So what I say is, in your neighborhood, get involved in your neighborhood. Don't be trying to think so national. I want to be national. Let's take it. No, just stick with what's going on in your zip code. And that's just how I think we're going to change that. If everybody just focus on build what's going on in their neighborhood, I think that would just change. Because I think some of us, what we do is we try to make it so big. Oh, these big ideas. It need to start small. The civil rights, they have small victories, and it just balled into like it just really rolled into momentum. It was just small little victories. This going on Birmingham. Oh, they were able to ride the bus. Okay, the Supreme Court knocked down segregation, for people to be able to go to school. It was like little small victories. But if you keep trying to change everything, you're not going to be able to change everything. But what we can do is try to change our neighborhood.
Yes, you need to start slowly and then start locally before you branch out, right?
Because it's all local. Well, man, because it starts locally. Once we get a strong local base, everybody locally doing their things, it's going to affect what's going on nationally. Because locally, everybody doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying?
But it's kind of hard though, right? Because, like I said,
it's a challenge. But sister, it's
what we. Some of the areas, right? Like in Brooklyn, I will say because of the crime and the gang violence, right? And they trying to defund the police, and NYPD get a lot of money, okay? But a lot of racists are in the NYPD, okay? It's so sad to see because it's literally kids or young kids killing each other or going to jail, right? And it's surrounded by, of course, this Brooklyn drill music or, this gang violence. And honestly, there's certain parts in Brooklyn I don't even go to. Okay, there's certain neighborhood I wouldn't even go to because they know I'm not from there. Okay, and that's another thing. When you're in New York City, like what happened to the young lady in Harlem, I don't go around a collective group of dudes. I don't like to go on trains where I see a group of high school students. That's a no-no. A group of dudes, that's a no-no. Girls who look suspicious and you're the only one, that's a no-no. Anytime I see those three groups of people, or of course white folks, I just look mad shady. But anytime I see those group of people, I just go the other way. Okay? That's like my spidey senses because you just know people just be on that BS.
Yeah.
People just be on that BS.
Okay? I'm gonna go to the same. You're right about what's your last point, and I'm gonna go to this last caller.
What happened to that girl in Brooklyn and what happened to that girl in Harlem was disgusting.
Okay.
That was disgusting. Okay, and of course, those men are not even men; those are boys, because I'm sure they wouldn't do that to a dude. We all know that Black women are not protected at all. We all know that, okay? But yeah, we march for Black men when they die, right? But no one will march for us at all, and we see it time and time and time again. Hence why I always tell Black women, you gotta burn the Black man cape. I'm not gonna be caping for you if you don't cape for me. Why I'm protecting you? I'm supposed to be a woman distressed. I'm a woman distressed. Why I'm out there? You don't see Asian women marching for Asian men. You don't see Jewish women out there protecting Jewish men like that. No. And this is why we had that negative stereotype. Oh, a strong Black woman. No. We're already stressed. We're burned out. We gotta take care of
we Black men out there. I agree with you on that. We do have to be more active in the streets in that way. But we thank you so much for calling in. You're exactly right about that.
You're welcome.
All right. I think this is the last call we have on there. If anybody want to call in, you still can. 1922, because I was trying to get to everybody because I know you was holding on a long time. Sorry about the wait.
It's Sunday and I'm ready to speak. Call the Wiley Show and say a few things. Hope that it's all right. What's up, Wiley?
Hey, how you doing? Go ahead.
How you doing?
Good.
I just had to give that to you a little bit. I done sat online long enough. Everything that they were saying was beautiful. This Miss T, I have been MIA, but I am here this morning. Okay?
Yes.
So wow. I know. Look here, I'm not even looking at the video. I'm not looking at the chat. So I already know you making faces. You probably lean back in the chat, everything, grip your pearls. It's all good, you know. So about the strong woman, that was a hot mess. What those boys did to that woman in New York, and I'm just hearing about it today because I've been so MIA. I haven't been able to keep up with what's going on. I can't believe that happened. And it's so crazy because nowadays I see on social media and on TV how they telling, trying to uplift the black man, how black men are trying to be better dads and how they empower the black man. And it's a lot of slack coming to the quote unquote strong woman. Now listen to me. I consider myself a strong woman. I don't care what people say. I'm not going to be weak so somebody else can be strong. But when you look at the news like this and you see a woman going in the store trying to avoid problems and she get attacked like that, how in the world can a strong woman not be something other than even stronger? When you're living in a society where you're just being attacked, and did you see those people watching her get attacked? There were people standing outside watching it. There was another black woman watching another black woman get attacked like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. It wasn't just those boys out there attacking that girl and nobody wasn't watching what was going on. No one reached in and helped that girl defend herself. That's crazy. Our community is just crazy. It's just like the lady was saying about opening up businesses and saying how, when we open up business, the problem, I think what our problem is, it's the same system that has the foot on our neck. It's the same system that we are allowed to still tell us what is valuable in our lives. The same system is still what they say is supposed to be rich. If they say this is wealth, this is what we say is wealth. They say this is rich, this is what they say is rich. That's the bottom line. Is you're supposed to
right. And then, can I say something? You just said that store should have had security. I'm sorry. Even if you can't afford 24-hour security guard, at a certain time in the evening, you should have security in that store. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I think that the store failed that woman as well. They should have had security in there, a security guard in that store. You know what I'm saying? That's how I personally feel about it. The people should have intervened in that situation and helped that woman. And one of the person told her to run. So she had to run because they said, oh, he might come back because he did this before. So that means if you saw him doing that before, you didn't go to the police. You just let them see him do it. And that's the failure of people. When you see stuff, say it, because next time it could be you that's getting robbed and stumped. If you see something, cooperate with the police and tell them what's going on in your neighborhood. Period. Because next week it could be you. If this is the same guy terrorizing the liquor store, because usually those guys probably live in that neighborhood. They're not far from that neighborhood. They don't live 30 miles away. They live in that neighborhood. Okay. And best believe they're going to be dealt with because of the political pressure, because of it all on social media. Before the cops get to them, they're going to get beat up. If not, something else going to happen. But this ain't the first time that happened in New York. I remember a young guy was getting jumped by gang members. You remember that? Out in New York, they jumped him, I think outside. I don't know if he died or what. But New York crime is just, whew, they got to do something.
I feel like if nothing changes, if nothing changed. And it piggins off of what you and another caller were talking about. And she was saying the national, things need to change in the national spot. And you said, no, we really need to go smaller. We need to try to take it local. We need to make changes local. And when you said that, I was like, no, Wiley, I disagree with that. Or not disagree totally, but was like, the smaller is not even your neighborhood or your city or where you're from. The smallest where you need to start from is the individual person. You as an individual, because at the end of the day, in order for you to have serenity, the only person you can change and the only thing you need to have courage to change is yourself. That means the next time you are in a situation when, like you say, you're watching something like that happen, maybe you as an individual need to change, and then the energy around us will start changing, because people know that you can't just attack people like that in the street and someone's just going to watch, you know? We as an individual, not your community, you can't change your church if your preacher is doing something wrong. You have to not keep going to that church if you know the energy in that church. You can't keep supporting things.
Right, and I agree with you. You're talking about self, and you're right about that. And that is why it is so important when people preaching defund the police, what they're saying, instead of giving these police agencies billions of dollars every time for their budget, take out a couple of billions for resources, mental health counselors, youth centers, 24-hour conflict resolution centers, funding groups that know the gangs and know that help them, give them resources so they can hit the streets, so they can offer 24 hours care if people don't have their parents at work and they need a safe haven place to be. You know what I mean? That's what they mean about that's what they mean about defund the police. They mean about reallocating funding from one department and put more resources. And if you don't, the person that broke it down the best, you all need to see Kamala Harris when she went on The View, when Meghan McCain was trying to get her together about the fund of the police, and Kamala Harris said it the best. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris now, go and watch that Wendy Williams interview. She said we have to reimagine how we do policing in this country. And I agree. We throw billions at the police and you still got the crime. So that means we need to take some of that money, put in mental health, take some of that money, put into the park and to community centers, and take some of that money, put into grocery stores, so it don't have to be a so-called food desert, so people can have good quality growth. Put some of that money into job training, into high-tech jobs, to train people to do technology and science, more tech schools. That's what we're saying when it's about defund the police. It ain't talking about just to get rid of the police. It's about putting money on the ground to actually help those that's in the neighborhood. That's how I personally feel like they should do, and that will help. I'm not going to say it's going to solve it completely, but it will help the neighborhood a lot if they got community centers, mental health counselors where you can go for assistance as well.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is not police funding or refunding or whatever. What I'm talking about is every person that's on the live, in the chat, listener, going to hear it tomorrow or whatever. Even myself, or like the lady said, it's about our individual, real, true value system. That means that why should our children have to only feel validated if they want to be a lawyer or a doctor? Why the guys that enter the truck, why the little kids aren't going out to the street and waving at them and understanding that their job too is just as valuable to our society? And we have allowed the same system. What I'm saying is the same system that put the foot on our neck is the same system that told us that this is what is important and this is what is not important.
Right. And I'm gonna be free with you. They don't have that. Right. I want not to cut you off. We do have to hold our people accountable, and I'm holding them accountable. We this is the thing, parents as well, because it starts at home. If your son is in the streets, you need to talk to your son and get them some help, and if your son doing criminal behavior, if you know your son or your daughter don't have a job and they coming in with jewelry, shoes, your son or your daughter, if they hang around the wrong crowd in the game, you need to report them and turn them in, because they terrorizing the neighborhood. You need to cooperate with the authorities and turn them in. If people do that, because it's a lot of people, they do not cooperate with the police. Your cousin or your nephew is no good. He robbing folks. You know it. You don't want, and you need to cooperate with the police because you're just as guilty as he is or she. Cooperate with the police. Or say, hey, come pick up my nephew. He just robbed that lady at the liquor store. He did it, and cooperate. And it may hurt you, but that's how you're going to save the community. But if you keep on allowing people do all this and you don't cooperate with the police, you don't want to snitch, next week or the next day or the same day, it could be you getting robbed. And then you out there, y'all, please, if y'all see anything, call the number. Just turn yourself in. But you ain't telling them you ain't help and help with the next thing. You could have helped in the situation. You ain't saying nothing, but now it hit your front door. You know what I'm saying? So if you got all that activity in your home, you live in your apartment, it was good. It was a good building until you and your family moved in that robbing in front of the building and all that. You ain't saying nothing. And then you go to church and you get to shout and you got all that them spirits of them you creating all that crime. It ain't happening. Then when you move off the block, the crime go down because the criminals are going somewhere else. You got to cooperate too. A lot of mothers ain't gonna want to hear this. You are not a good mother if you let your child get in the gangs and sell drugs and rob folks and beat up folks and you don't say nothing. You're not a good mother if you just let them just do it. You ain't help and you ain't reporting them. So you're allowing them because when you get stumped on or robbed, you're gonna want people to cooperate with the police. So keep that same energy and cooperate. Period. So you should know, every parent, you should know what is going on under your roof. You should know it. If you don't know what's going on, get to know what's going on here. If you better know who up in your house, what's up in your house, if you have children. Ain't no in the world you and some of y'all do know. I'm from the hood. I know it. Some of these people, they be knowing they think it was one lady, and I'm gonna be honest. They live on my grandmother's block. All her grandkids, they were just criminals, but they would go to church every Sunday. But they was criminal, and the police just knew. And I used to feel bad for them, but then I stopped feeling bad. I'm like, when is them old ladies all them grannies gonna cooperate with the authorities and stop hiding them? They lost their house, and then once they left the block, the crime on my grandmother's block went down. And the crime ain't like that no, because all the criminals, they in prison or either dead, and they got foreclosed. Now the crime went down. It's like that one particular house had all the crime, all the shoot. It was in that one particular house. We used to call it the blue house because the house was blue. And it was right there, that one house. And there was a lot of folks that stayed in there, and there was in a lot of gangs. And so, but once they started going to prison, once they started losing their life, and then once they lost the property, the crime went down because they left. So we as people, we have to hold our brothers and sisters are accountable. And that does not make you less than a black man if you tell folks to stop robbing and you reporting them and all that. You actually helping the community. You don't need to be out here walking free, you robbing folks just to be robbing folks, when you could be out here getting a job working for FedEx, and it's places that will hire you if you're a felon. Right? It's a lot of companies out here that will hire you if you have something on your record. But don't be going out here stumping and robbing and all that. If you have to go out every single day to go to the thrift store and put on a shirt and get a tie and just to go and say, sir, can you hire me? I'm looking for. If you have to do that every single day, do it. But don't go out here robbing and stumping on folks and beating up folks and killing folks and all that. And if you harboring people, like, you smell gun smoke in your house and weed and gun smoke. You know it. You hear it. And some of y'all don't want to hear it. But you see it. A lot of y'all in your homes, y'all have, man, if y'all turn some of y'all people in your home, the crime will go down. Some of y'all have some of these people, just keep it real. Some of y'all got some criminals living in your house. But you ain't gonna say it. You not your kids, they good. You know it. I'm just saying. I'm making this a comic way, but I'm serious. Well, we thank you so much for calling in, so I'm gonna get to these other callers.
That's what's up. You have a nice day. Ciao,
thank
ciao.
You know you smelling gun smoke over there while you up there trying to fry that chicken. Ooh, what's that smell? You know that smell is gun smoke. You need to report those criminals in there on that air mattress. I know they doing something because he don't work at all. What you getting all that money from? You see all that blood? You up there washing the clothes with the blood and stuff on and acting like you don't see it. That's why you can't hardly sleep like that. You got all them criminals in your house. All right, let's. Ooh, they gonna get mad at me because some of them in here this chat. I feel it in my spirit. Let me move on because they ain't gonna do nothing if I keep on talking about their kids. 8375 calling you on the air.
Why you trip?
They ain't gonna donate, man. You talking about their kids? Oh no, that their kids. Some of y'all kids just got through robbing somebody and got in your house, and you just asleep. They just got through rob that purse that you got for Christmas. That's your neighbor purse. That ain't your purse for Christmas. They did rob somebody for that purse. But okay.
And be glad to get that purse.
And be glad. And know that it's stolen. They know their son ain't no good. Some of y'all be knowing.
And know it's stolen. Knowing it's stolen. But girl, my son got me this for Christmas. Know it's stolen. The drugs bought it.
Oh Lord. Let me go. Go ahead, Carla.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But I am so on the same page with you when you say that we need to start holding ourselves accountable. Yes. We need to start working with the police on these issues. Our communities are not going to get any better if we don't start. And a lot of these are children. A lot of these parents know exactly what their children are doing, but they don't want to put them behind bars. So therefore, the crime continues. That's true. But then you say, call the police. I'm not going to do the police job. How do you expect for the police to solve crime if you're not going to cooperate with them? They cannot do it by themselves. It's going to take us as a people. Unfortunately, some of us gonna have to put our children behind bars. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. You're right.
Because
that's true.
I put fear in mine from little bitty. I put fear in them. Their dad specifically told me, we're not buying them guns for Christmas. They never saw not one play gun on Christmas Day, on birthdays or nothing. Now I hold them fully accountable for their actions. As their mother, I tell them, don't take my privilege or my opportunity to be able to fight for you if I ever have to walk with you in the court of law. If you get in there, you get out here, you kill somebody, you rob somebody, I'm going to have to turn you over. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that because me as a mother, Wiley, I like to sleep at night. And I just cannot fathom the thought of my sons out here terrorizing somebody else's life, and they cannot sleep or get the same sleep that I'm getting at night. That's where we're going to have to start holding ourselves accountable as parents also. And we're going to have to start raising our children right also. The club is not raising our children, buying them the best Jordans and Nikes and Adidas and Pumas. That's not raising our children. Our children need to be raised properly. We got a lot of young females having babies. Man, I don't even want to get on that subject right there. I see these young ladies. They beat the brakes off these kids if they raise water on the floor. They put a mark on the wall. But here you up on here doing busted challenges. Displaying on Facebook, I want to get me a V-ring in my vagina. But you're raising babies. You're raising kids, though. They got the wrong concept. They think having a pretty baby, putting the bows on the head, flexing, that's raising. But baby, I'm here to tell y'all are raising criminals. Criminals that you're going to have to one day make a choice. If you don't take care of your child, the street or the prison system is going to do it. If you don't raise them, the street or the prison, and people tell me, why you let your kids smoke? My son started smoking marijuana at 18 years old. I didn't condone it, hated it, preached to them every day. But I would rather them smoke it here at my house than to go out there in the street
and that should be legal
and get caught by the police.
Yeah, and that honestly,
and go to jail.
Honestly, that should be legal. Honestly, and you definitely speak of wisdom
should be
on
legal.
That and holding that accountable because you shouldn't serve 40 years, 30 years for some weed. Like, come on now. Come on, like that to me.
Yeah, but in everything that we use to smoke it,
from the cigarillos to the pipe. Y'all sell it, right?
They sell it. They sure sell it.
The product's illegal.
Right. And they want to criminalize
but the
that.
drug isn't?
Come on now. Like that should change. That shouldn't be. And there's people sitting in prison for some weed. In prison.
Plenty people. People in high places, in the government, smoking crack, cocaine,
doing a whole lot of stuff.
Weed, but yet it's still a whole lot of stuff. But yet they pass these policies down on. They're manipulating us. They're playing with us, and I don't like it. To the young lady that got jumped in New York, I hope they find them, and I hope they put them just where they need to be put. Because I've been told, people, you don't do that. You don't. These are 3 men. They jumped on a female. All those people stood around and watched, recorded. The same thing happened with George Floyd. All the people sitting out there watching, they could have bombarded the police, okay? Maybe somebody would have got shot. It might have been a casualty or 2, but people are afraid to die. That's the thing. We want to live, but everybody is afraid to die. I couldn't have stood there and watched that happen to her. I couldn't have stood there and watched that happen to Mr. George Floyd. I could not have. But obviously, all those people would rather sit there. Everybody is looking for the next viral opportunity. Everybody want to go viral. Everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to reap off the pain and suffering of someone else. And that's our problem. We got a problem within ourselves as Black people, and we're going to have to fix it.
Facts.
Before we move forward in the future or go anywhere, we got to fix some things within ourselves.
There we go. Thank you so very much, sister, for calling in.
And thank you for listening again, Wiley. Enjoy your day.
All right, you too. All right. All right, let's go to the next caller. 8776 caller, you on the air. 8776.
Wally Sedman?
Yes.
Wally, hi. How are you?
All right.
First of all, we got to remember with the crime, and I'm not trying to make any excuses, but the people, the adults nowadays, the age 20 to 30, let's not forget that that's a generation of crack babies. Whether you guys want to go down that road or not, those are the generation. That is the generation that was raised by their grandmas that was too old to raise them, aunts, uncles that didn't care, and foster systems. They got thrown from house to house. So most of these kids out here, they got dragged up. And if they didn't get dragged up, they lived in a community where their friends were dragged up. So association brings on simulation. So now we have a mob mentality here. So everybody is thinking on this, and it's okay because you know what? Because the Instagrams and the people and the rap stars and everybody else is glamorizing this. You understand me? So they don't know no better until they're taught better.
Yeah, because I want to say that I hear you, and I remember Judge Mathis said he said a crack academic that's a problem, and then he said now they're dealing with the opioid crisis. You know what I mean? But with the difference between the crack epidemic and the opioid, now they are changing the language. This is a health crisis. This is a health crisis. Right. They need help. They need treatment instead of crack. But when it was the crack epidemic, lock them up and throw away the key. Right. Like, you know.
And this generation was raised up on that. Yes. And then you got to remember the generation before that, the majority, not the majority, but a good degree of people within the urban communities were hooked on that crack. And they dead and gone, or if they're still around, some of them
generation,
yes. Some of them got
a lot of families are still affected from that 80s. That generation is suffering. So it's going to take another generation just to clean up that. You know what I mean? So it's
going to take about 2 or 3 generations.
Yes, you're right about 2. You're exactly right. And you see when the white people see this is CC when they facing that they're facing a crisis because their people is dying from the opioids. So now They're trying to say now they want policies. Let's change the rule. This is a health crisis. I lost my daughter. Oh my God. But these same folks, when black folks were going through like they was like, they ain't have no sympathy. And they people going like flies.
When white folks got addicted to drugs out here, these pills and stuff, you was able to get Social Security disability because addiction was classified as a disability.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know. That, but if you was addicted to drugs, you were able to get Social Security disability. You didn't have to work a day in your life after that, and they was giving you somewhere to stay. And if you paid $80 a month, you still had a roof over your head. And sad to say, a lot of people didn't even reach that $80 a month, and that's a shame before God. And then let's talk about the police and the politics and the policymakers. Now, it's no secret that most of these cops out here were running the drug rings. All right? They were running the drug rings. They looked the other way. How many mayors in the cities, urban cities, got caught with drugs or got caught stealing from the city and taking advantage of the city? Nobody is talking about that. And the mayor leads the police force. You understand what I'm saying? And now in the police force in the areas, now you got black and brown, right? So now it's like brown, mostly brown, that are police officers. And I know this is a touchy subject for people, and people don't like to admit it, but most of you browns don't like blacks. They was taught to hate blacks. And if you look at some of these beatings and killings and stuff that's happening on this TV, you'll notice that. All right, you ask for the last names instead of the word police officer. Ask for the last name of that police officer and see what you get.
And this is why right, you right on. I'm gonna let you get your last point because we got so many callers that want to speak on this. Go ahead for your last point.
Yeah, but one thing I'm saying is the change start with us. But like I said the other day when I called you in, the change start with us admitting the truth to each other. Ain't no way in hell if my son, God forbid, go out here and kill somebody, I'm not calling the cops and turning him in. No, I'm going to call a lawyer. What happened? Okay, this happened. It was self-defense, right? Yeah, okay. Let's call this lawyer first, and then let's go on down to the precinct with the lawyer. Ain't no way in hell. You think I'm a trusted system. And then, like, I don't want to get into politics, but we just voted in. We, because I voted too. We just voted in the drafter of the 1994 crime bill that got these people still in jail, that took away a lot of these mothers, that didn't do anything about the drug habit until it became a Caucasian problem, and then it became a disability. Okay, we got those people. We did that. And nobody is standing up and saying, hey, wait a minute, this kind of ass backwards, ain't it? Nobody said it. So until we start admitting the truth to ourselves and taking responsibilities for who we are as a people, as a culture, as human beings, then we can't expect help from nobody. Whether they have a badge or a bow tie on, we can't expect the help them to defend. All right?
Well, thank you so very much for calling in.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, thank you. We got a lot of callers, so we're going to try to keep it short, y'all. We want everybody to get their point across. 6452.
Okay. Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Yeah, the last time I called you, I was so nervous when we was up last week in the morning.
Yes.
But I just want to say, I was listening to everybody, and everybody keeps saying teenagers having kids. Well, when I first got pregnant, I was 12. I had my son when I was 13. I'm 39 years old. I have a 25-year-old. I have a 22-year-old. And I have 2 other girls and stuff like that. With me having kids at a young age, my mother said, okay, you're going to have this baby. Your kid is going to go everywhere with you. She didn't take on that responsibility. It was my responsibility. And so because it was my responsibility, I didn't want my boys to be out on the corners or anything. So when he was younger, I was like, you know what? It's about education. If you want to have this or this and that, get an education, go to school. And I instilled that in their brain when they was younger. And both of my boys, even though they have disabilities and stuff like that, they both had high school diplomas. They very good men. They have manners. So I just want to say, like, every young teen is not just, just letting their kids be all out in the street. I feel like as a young parent, have an open dialogue with your children. Always talk to them. Because if you don't talk to them, they're going to go to the next person and have conversations with them. And the person might tell them the wrong thing. Let that be your responsibility. You are your children's role model. Not nobody on no TV, none of that type of stuff. Because all that stuff is fake. So, with me saying that, we have to take responsibility for our own children. My son, when he was 16, he came to me and said, Mom, I want to sell drugs because I don't have just like the other kids. I said, I listened to him and I gave him the rundown of the law and let him know what might happen. But guess what? It's also my law too. Because at the end of the day, a kid going to still do what they want. But you're not going to do it in this house. If you get locked up, you're going to be in there by yourself. I don't break. I don't accept calls. But what I am going to do, how about this? I'm going to start giving you allowance. And I started doing that. I started giving him allowance. He started making sure he was in school. So my thing is, and not sometimes when your kids do stuff, stop always saying, you did this wrong, you did this wrong. Sometimes your kids also want to hear at the same time, you are a good person. You are this. This is what you are good in. This is what you're good in. And your kids love that you just not putting them down, but you also telling them what's good about them. And my 25-year-old, he has his own place, no kids. He hasn't been to jail. I have my 22 here, lives with me, no kids. Never been in jail. I also have like a 15-year-old. I have a 12-year-old. And I'm also raising two of my sister's children, which she has two boys, which are 13 and 5. So my thing is, their education and your children, talk to your children. Just be there for your children, even when they doing something wrong.
And this is why it is so important to have a village. Thank you for, sharing your story. You said something really great that your son brought to you. He said, hey, I want to sell drugs. This is what I want to do because I want this. You talk to him. And so that's good that he came to. That means he trusts you and that he brought that to you, because some kids don't even bring it to their parents. So that's a good thing that you talked to him. So I'm praying that everything is well with you and your family right now.
I thank you so much. And, even with me, because I had my children at a young age, I had to drop out of school because my responsibility was them. Mm-hmm. But because I was also their role model, I showed my kids that even though I cannot, do this, mm-hmm. I went back to school. I got me a high school diploma. Mm-hmm. Then I said, what's next? I went to college. Then I said, what's next? I wound up getting me a good job. I'm also certified GNA. I also, do mobility driving. So that's right now, it's like your children see you grow. Sometimes you have to grow along with them, but they see it. And my son say, Mom, you're such a strong woman. I see you done went to college, you done see this. You done did this, you done did that. I have a car, when I was afraid. So sometimes we as people, we got to stop paralyzing our brain and go ahead and do it. Because our children look up to us. Our children need us. And so that was my point of view. I'm so nervous, but I'm just...
No, you did good. You did good. Thank you. It gets better. We just having a conversation. Thank you so much for calling in and keep calling in, sister, and keep sharing your story and keep talking about the subjects. I love when you call in, so I think that's great. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Wiley. I'm sitting up here watching you on my big TV. So
Okay.
I can't watch it. Put you on the big TV.
Got me on the big screen TV. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sister. All right.
Thank you.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So you hit it really great. That's great. The callers are calling in. Okay, we down to 4 callers now. All right, 0287 caller on air.
Hi, Wiley.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Oh, wow. I'm doing good. This show, I'm surprised that we have a show like this. The people are interactive and, you know, they into it. So, yeah, it's good. I'm excited.
Well, why wouldn't we be interactive? We wait for your show to come on, Wiley. So.
I be like shocked. I'm like, really? Y'all be okay. And we be trying to do like a time, but I can't even do a time limit. The show be so good, I don't we want to end it. But what's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to talk about Steve Harvey.
Yes, Steve Harvey.
That's how you
talk about it.
So I'm just really, really disappointed in all of the comments, you know, people's reactions, because I just don't understand, you know, where people feel like, okay, we know Steve Harvey has been preaching, you know, on the radio about, you know, his turnover in life and him knowing God and stuff like that. But he never said, I never even thought that he was Muslim. But now that you know, brought that out, it doesn't really matter. And for people to try to, you know, talk down to him about, I know his mother taught him to believe in God and you can only, you know, serve one God. Hello, who said that Muslims don't serve God?
Come on, say
I
it.
mean, these are people that are just speaking about what they don't know. If you research and know the religion, Allah is just an Arabic name for God.
Come on.
They're not saying that they're serving another God in place of that. But even Christian Arabic speakers say Allah because in their language, that's what God means. It means Allah. So it kind of translated over, you know, all the Muslims, you know, the Muslim language, they say Allah instead of God. But just because you're a Muslim does not mean that you're not serving God. And I don't get these Christians that think that there's only one path to heaven.
Come on.
You know, that we all got to walk the same way.
Because can I say this? When they say that, I always ask this question, ma'am, before we got to America, when we were in Africa, for those that were in Africa, what was our ancestors practicing before they got to America or any other place that had slavery? What was we then? You know what I'm saying? We have to keep in mind with Christianity, when the Bible, the slave master did, it was only certain parts of the Bible that they instructed the slave to preach. Some part they pretty much had to preach obedience to the slave master. You know, some stuff they couldn't preach about being free and fighting back and all that. So I just want to know what we practicing before we got to America, before the first, you know, they say 1619. Okay, what was we before 1619 and stuff like that? So when you had those type of conversations, you got to be willing to have that intelligent, in-depth conversation. That's just a question. Because what was we before? What was we before that? You know, so that's why I say we.
Well, I don't think, from my understanding, I feel like that our religion was more like based sort of like the Native Americans. You know, they have one higher God that they serve, but they also give thanks to different parts of, you know, basically like the ecosystem. You know, I mean, I guess Native Americans would have been the first people that started with the you know, trying to be green. You know, if we use this area, we need to replenish this area. We're only going to eat what we need. We're not going to, cut down all the trees. But I think in Africa, we also, gave thanks. They have ceremonies and things to give thanks for what they use. They have rituals to bring on a good harvest. Those are things that the Indians did also. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, but I just don't. They just have to get past this thing. Is if you're not a Christian, the way we think you should be a Christian, then you're not following God or you're not going to heaven. And that's just a bunch of BS, I mean, this man, his fruit of good work speaks for him. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all ready to drag, but they're dragging him just because he believes differently. Now, all before, he was the same person. He was the same person before y'all knew he was Muslim. So now what makes him such a bad person, or what makes him so un-Christian, because now that he's a Muslim.
That's a good point. All right. And we thank you. And the reason why I brought it up, because when I looked at the video, I watched the video, but I scrolled down in them comments because I knew they was going to come at Steve Harvey and say that. And I read those comments, and I wanted my audience to see what was y'all thoughts about the situation, because I didn't know he was Muslim. And then once I found out he was, I didn't look at him no type of way. I just hope he continue to be a good husband, continue to be a good provider for the community, and keep, what I'm saying? And he mentor a young man,
right.
So
I looked at him no different.
I didn't either. I didn't look at him no different either.
And to be honest, I'm sorry, but the Muslim hood, the brotherhood that comes along with Muslims, especially in the Black community, it teaches them to be responsible, to be good men, to be good fathers. You understand what I'm saying? So why would we fight against something like that? Just because, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, because I don't think most Christians read into the literature of Islam.
They don't act right. They just repeat what they pastor told them, what they pastor told them, to be so divided. Instead of them saying, "Hey, let me talk to some Muslims. Let me sit down and have a conversation." There's nothing wrong with sitting down and having a conversation, but you can't have a conversation or dialogue when you are already ready to throw 55 scriptures at me and how wrong I am. So it ain't, the dialogue gonna be broken right then and there. So yes, thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, sister.
All right, I'll let you get to your other call.
All right, y'all, baby, okay. Man, thank you for the donation, y'all. I can't even cut the show because y'all are into these topics today. Thank you, sister. All right, all right. Let me go to this next caller in here. 3071. 3071.
Hi, good afternoon, Wiley. I wanted to make a comment about the lady who called in last and said that she raised her child or her children to do right and to not get in trouble and everything. And I had made the comment where it just seems as though that caller does a lot of judging and contradicting, because on one hand you're saying you teach your children not to do this and to abide by the law, but yet on the other hand, you allow your children to smoke weed in the house and you're okay with that. So not only are you teaching your child that it's okay to break the law, you're teaching them that you won't turn them in because they are breaking the law. So it just seems as though it's just a bunch of I'm better than you. And that's the problem with Christians, because I'm pretty sure she's one of those Bible-toting Christians. You shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But meanwhile, probably at home eating shellfish, probably smoking drinks with her son. So I don't understand. And you have people in the comments that were agreeing with her. So what is it? Do you teach your children not to, to abide by the law? But on the other hand, this little stuff right here is okay. And also with the George Floyd situation, yes, it was unfortunate that people were there, but what if their parents told them, you don't jump in what law enforcement is doing? Yes, I wish somebody could have jumped in, but I know if I was there, I wouldn't have. I'm not taking a bullet for nobody if you're not my child. So people just need to stop judging other people, saying that what they don't teach their child, what they teach their child. Just give advice and just keep it pushing. Stop judging and stop contradicting. Y'all have a great day.
Well, shout out to this new caller. Caller, where you calling from? This your first time calling in. Did she hang up? Oh, she hung up. We get some new. Shout out to the new callers up in here. The new callers jumping out the bushes calling in. Baby, they trigger. Baby, these callers calling in today. I'm here because some voices I never heard before. I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. You back on the air, D?
Okay, the callers, man, the callers. I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't hear that part about the young lady saying that she allows her kids to smoke in the house. I mean, that's not my thing. I can't even relate to that because I don't smoke anyway, and I'm not around that. I don't even know. I don't think that I would allow something like that. But to each his own. You know, her raising her children at the age of 12, because that's your child yourself and you're raising a child. And that right there that's such a hard thing to do. I can only imagine. No, I can't imagine because I wasn't there.
My grandmother, she had her first child when she was 13 years old. So when people get judging,
wow.
I remember I had to school my grandmother one time. I had to school her when she tried to come out my sister. I said, grandmother, but remember, you had a son when you were 13. So sometimes you can't get so judgmental. Yeah. She had at 13 years old. People will say, well, that was a different time. But what I'm saying is that happened and we should be understanding. I'm like, okay, you can train with this situation. I'm just giving my suggestion is to say, hey, please, like let's wait till you go to school, go to college, till you get married and all that. But if you do so, make it out it's like a village got to participate because, like, my sister had her baby. I took off for her, but the family, I understand the pressure because I had to go get the milk, and I didn't know how to do that stuff. I'm like, man, that milk, that stuff costs money, and that's expensive. You know, it's really expensive. But thank God that my sister have a village of, you know, a mom, a granny, or a brother that she can ask for a sister. But it's some people that don't have that. It's just them. And then sometimes they can't even take care of them. It got to go to the system because they don't have people to help them.
Yes.
So you blessed if you have a child at 13, 14 years old. You have a village or a support system to support you at that. I feel for you if you ain't got no assistance. I don't know. You know, you're going to need help because you're just a child yourself at that age.
Exactly.
Right.
I do. But, you know, I do commend her for even, you know, because I don't know of any, you know, anyone that age that had a child that young. You know, I was in high school. I know people that were pregnant in high school, but that young, that is a big thing, you know, because she was a child herself and she had to raise a child and had more children and raise them. So that right there is something that, and they're not in the foster system. She kept her children. So that right there
and it's a success story,
you know, that's commendable.
Because she went to college. I wish that for those that did have children at an early age that went through the process, the stories that we need to promote and have them to testify and come out and preach and say, yes, I did. I don't, but I was 12 years old and I had a child. But I raised and I went back to school, got my high school diploma. I went on, got me a college degree. You can make it. They need to hear those voices. You know what I'm saying? Like when that woman said that.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm with you with that. I'm feeling your energy with that. Yeah, we need to hear more of that for people that went to, because there's some that have done it. Let's be clear. She ain't going to be the first, ain't going to be the last, ain't going to do it. But it's good to hear those people with that woman when she broke that down, because I was saying in the chat with Judge, I'm like, wait, keep hearing it. She was like, no, but I went back to school and I got that to me, that was like, yes, praise God. That's a blessing.
You know, and we can't judge her. You know, I understand what the last caller said. And as far as smoking, you know, I'm not into that. That's never been my thing. Smoking marijuana, it's
because
never
of the
been
police.
My thing.
Let's be clear.
So,
if weed is legal,
everyone is different.
Everybody's different, but let's just be clear. If weed is illegal, if the police bust the door down, you can get arrested, right or wrong. If you got a lot of weed in your home, right or wrong, you can get arrested. right? So if it's against the law, even though you allow and say, hey, I don't want my kids to smoking on the street, but if the police knock on the door, who you think gonna get arrested?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you don't want to. Now, what you should do, and I read this in accounts because I went to a therapy session, and she said, even if you want to smoke weed, rewire your mind and say, try to work to change the laws so you don't go get arrested and get a criminal record. You know what I'm saying? If you just got to have some weed, move to a state where weed is legal, or try to change the laws in your state. Join groups that want to change the laws, but don't take that risk as a black man. Let's be clear. Don't try to take that risk. You do all that stuff because you ain't gonna get it passed like others. Understand the consequences and the risk that you take. Because it's some people that still serving time with weed. They still criminalizing that for weed. So understand the consequences.
Yes.
So yes. Like if you on probation, if your probation officer say don't smoke weed, if you're on parole, don't smoke weed, so you don't have to go back to the slammer. If they say the slammer, I don't think they say that anymore. Or back to the box. So you know,
the box, Wiley, the box,
the box.
Oh my God!
What they say? They don't say the box. Don't use it. Old outdated term.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's totally different. That's
you know you're supposed to be eating them brownies.
I know what you're saying.
Right? You can't even hardly eat people brownies because these supposed to be having these brownies spiked up and all that. Like no, like if it's illegal, be careful. You know what I'm saying? You can't eat everybody brownies. That's
off topic. I saw somebody off topic. I saw somebody on Instagram making in prison, making French fries in the cell. I said, what the hell? He was making French fries and put them in like a wrap snack bag, selling them.
It was one man in prison.
I guess they got to be creative.
I'm sorry, they was making macaroni. I said, hey, you got to get creative. But yeah,
you lying macaroni.
It was made. I don't know how he made it. It didn't look desirable. But he said to him, it looks good. But what I'm saying is, this conversation, I'm inspired from this conversation because we're hearing so many powerful voices that called in. It was a lot of people. We got a lot of more other callers. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, lastly, and I'm going back to the chat. Once again, you know, I don't know if we have, I'm sure you have other races in here, but this is for the Black race. We have got to hold each other accountable. We cannot continue to depend on the system to do what we can do. If you're living in a low income area, okay, and you're asking and you're telling the city, look, we need this and that. There, other than community centers, because we do have community centers. I don't know how many more community centers and nonprofits we can actually put into the city. But there's something important.
You're right.
Instead of asking for the same things over and over again, how about you ask for your government, the mayor, to come? How about building new homes? Because this is what they do in DC. They've built homes and offer home ownership to the low-income residents. We're going to build in your areas. We're going to tell them we want the projects gone. We want these gone. Yes. We want home ownership.
Yes.
Start demanding, not asking, but demanding for things that make sense. When you walk in your home, this is my home, because see, a Section 8 voucher, you can pass a Section 8 voucher down to your daughter can pass it down to her daughter, and that's how they say there are generations, and you wonder, how is there so many generations in one home that's in the project? Because they're able to pass it down. That is not your home. That's a government home.
And my thing is this, with some programs that they already have. I remember in Chicago, there was a lady at my church that I used to go to. She was able to get help with a down payment and a home. You know, she was on Section 8. They helped her. So it is programs to get you off it. I think it's a blessing. If you on Section 8, it's a blessing.
But if you want to stay,
right. I don't think
if you want to stay like DC, they want to stay in DC.
I don't think you should.
Stay,
that's immensely
asking for things that make sense.
And then you should go back to school and try, because you can get into better housing and stuff like that. And I just think, like, cause some people need it. Like for me, I remember I had to get on food stamps because I had lost my job. Something was going on, and I had to get on emergency food stamps when I first moved to Dallas. And I wasn't ashamed because I'm a taxpayer. Did I stay on there? No. I was temporary to get on that, so I was able to get on my feet. I think those programs should be designed for you to be on it temporarily and get a job and all that. But don't try to use it as a generational thing where you don't want to go to school, you don't want to get a career because you don't want to lose your assistant. Like, no, always, and that comes from the individual. That comes from your own. That comes from you. That have to change that. That it is so much better. This world is so much greater than you living in public housing. That you can go back to school and get a degree and get a good education. That you can be an entrepreneur. Like, you don't have to just depend on having food stamps and all that. So I just think that comes with, you have to rewire your brain and start looking outside that, you know. But I do believe people need the assistance, but don't be trying to use it for all your life and for generation, your kids, you know, try to break that cycle.
Right. But you also, again, have to ask for, when you go, when the mayor, you know how when a new mayor is coming in office, when they start doing these walkthroughs, that is when you need to start demanding, not asking. You need to start demanding resources, things that help, things that will bring you generational wealth. Home ownership will bring you generational wealth. That is something that you can pass down to your children. They can pass down to their children. Ask for better stores. We're tired of corner stores where you have to pay $2 for one onion. You know, ask for better quality food. Ask, can we build a local garden in our community, certain land that has not been claimed? Can we start that as a community garden? Stop asking for the same things, because you're going to get the same results. When they see you asking for certain things, do you really think that the other shades like to see you asking for things that make sense? Or we'll give them a community center, or we'll throw them a bone their way. No, you need to start asking for bigger and better. Right. No, I'm not in that area, but I did work in that area, but you have to ask for more. That is how you get more. And that's how you get out of the situation that you're in. Because until we do, things are going to remain the same. We have to be accountable for us. I'm accountable. I am my brother's keeper. I am, and my sister's keeper. We have got to be responsible for us. That's all. Wiley, and when the show is over, have a good day.
Oh, and thank you. All right. We got a lot of callers in there. We're going to get to everybody, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Thank you, caller. 8375.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
I missed out on the part where about Steve Harvey. So he's always been.
I don't know
as a Muslim.
I don't know if he always been a Muslim, because you know his mother was a Christian, was a Sunday school teacher, and just like last year or the year before, he was talking about I know Jesus and I'm a Christian. He said it. It's like videos of him. He would say he was a Christian, but I was surprised when he said he was a Muslim. I was shocked. I didn't know. It surprised me. So when I saw I was literally just in my timeline. I just so happened to go on his video and I saw it and I read those comments, and that's why I brought it to the audience to see what they thoughts on that.
This is the thing about Muslim and Christian. This is where they don't get along at. I had to take a class in college on religion. Muslims do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Muslims believe that Jesus is a fellow apostle, like the other 12. So that is where the problem comes in at. That is where the confusion come in at. They do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as the Son of God, only an apostle. Muslims and Christians, because of that one difference, will never be able to coexist under the same roof. I recall a moment in history when Fantasia was singing at Aretha Franklin's funeral. And what was his name? Muhammad?
Minister Farrakhan.
Yes. Minister Muhammad was on stage. I don't want to disrespect him because
it was Minister Farrakhan.
I'm a Farrakhan. I'm sorry. See, that goes to show. I'm a born Christian, but I don't put myself in a category because Christianity has shown me some things over the course of my life that has caused me to question certain things. Okay. But I give everybody the respect that they request, and I respect them. But Fantasia was singing and she was calling on the name of Jesus. And baby, she was in front of him. She stood there. She was just calling on his name. And he was looking at her like, he can't call on the name of Jesus.
Oh, that's not true.
You know,
that's not true.
He can't. He can.
He has.
But they don't, acknowledge him as being the son of God.
He acknowledged that. I've heard the Minister Farrakhan speak multiple times. He always talk about Jesus. If he actually, I would tell you to go and watch his eulogy. Go and watch him. He did a eulogy. Oh, he spoke at one of the preachers in Chicago. I don't know the bishop that passed away, but yes, he talks about Jesus a lot. He does. You could even go back. Man, what was it of that Baptist church? Give me a second. I want you to go.
Yeah, they talk about him, but if you go back and do your research, that is going to be the difference.
Because he went. I want you to. Because he even preached out of the Bible. Wait, it was what church where he was at? It is on YouTube. I would just ask people just to Google Minister Farrakhan preaching, and you will see him. He talks about Jesus.
I love him.
He
he's
talked about it
knowledgeable.
When he went to the unit. I'm sorry, when he was preaching at the Union Temple Baptist Church back in 2017. You definitely can see it. And also, too, you can go to the Rainbow Push Coalition, and they have a video entitled "The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan," and that is when he was speaking at Reverend Dr. Clay Evans of the Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, and you need to hear that. So how he was talking about Jesus. So you go, I mean, you will be inspired.
I would love. I know they speak on him a lot, but the one question that everybody should ask: who is Jesus to God? And that is going to tell you exactly where the difference is between Muslims and Christians. Now, I'm going to, Steve, right. I respect Steve. I'm going to go back to the young lady that was me that spoke on my son. I was 21 when I had my first son. And like I said, he started to smoke when he was 18 years old. No, there was no smoking in my house. Let me clear that up, period. But I did have a patio that I allowed him to smoke on, than to be out in the street smoking and taking a chance of getting locked up. But at the same time, he knew that if he got caught out there in those streets doing something that he should not have been doing, that my children know that there is repercussions for wrong actions. Mm-hmm. They know this. They really know this. And that is something that I hold. I'm not here to point fingers at anybody or try to judge anybody, because I am not perfect. I make mistakes every day, and we'll be making them until the day we die. But we try to learn from those mistakes. Right. No, I'm not going to put my children behind bars for smoking marijuana. But if they get out here and kill somebody or rob somebody, yeah, I would be the first person to call the police on them. That's absolutely me. And probably someone in your chat said to check your DM that something hot just dropped.
Oh, okay. I'm checking it now. But thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. We're going to get to everybody. Please do not hang up. We're going to get to every single call. This is why we thank you for supporting the show, because we're not going to rush you. I want everybody to be heard. So do not hang up. I'm going to get to we actually down to 5 callers right now in the queue. 8776 calling on the air.
Hey, Wally.
Hey.
Hi. I'm calling back again. I'm gonna have to just send you something again through Cash App because I don't want to keep calling back. And this is your job. And you gotta earn money for it, and you should. So I'll Cash App you again later on.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm calling back because of the religious thing. Like I told you before, I wrote the thing, What is the Black Culture? And it's on my site. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't know. You talk about the first temple of Jerusalem, the one that got torn down. Now, in the books in Oxford and all these DNAs they did, the people...
But can I say this, though, before we get into the religious content, as being Black? Okay, let's... I'm just talking about us before we get into the religious thing, because you're gonna break down one thing about religion is just like politics. It is so many different theories. It is so many different ways.
No. These are not theories. I'm sorry, Wally. These are not theories. I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about historical facts.
I understand what you're saying, but even with historical fact, when you're speaking about religion, everybody have their opinion, but I'm gonna hear what you got to say, but go ahead.
Okay, so the question, I'm sorry. See, this is why I'm not married, because I don't let the man finish talking. See,
go ahead.
This is why I called back, because you say something about what was our religion before slavery.
Okay.
So our religion before slavery was mostly in West Africa with the Bantu tribe, which is probably the biggest people over in Africa. But they did a lot of mystical things, and they did believe in a lot of earth things and nature, but they also believe in a higher religion, and they did have different names. So in this, I say that the first temple of Jerusalem, when they did the excavations and they digged and they found the people and the DNA of the people who actually built it, they were the people of West Africa.
All right. Okay, you got that piece. Okay, we don't want to get deep into the religious piece, but anything else you want to add? We don't want to get deep. Okay.
All right, but I just want to say that they were. And then, can I tell you something else?
I want to get to these calls that haven't came on yet. So,
okay. All right.
Because it's a lot of callers. I want to make sure I get to the people that haven't called in yet. So yeah. So you saw there's a historical fact. Maybe we'll do another show. You could break down that point. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, if you do another show, then we'll come on and then we'll talk about it, and I give you the books and stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So if you did not call in, I want to make sure that we get somebody new on. So let me see. 4486. Did this your first time calling in? 4486?
Yes, is this Wally?
Yes. Go ahead, sister.
Oh yes, Wally. Hi. So I'm not going to get into everything so that you can give other callers a chance.
Can you speak up in the phone so I can hear you? You sound like far away.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You sound a little far away, but I want to make sure we can hear you. Go ahead, sister.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you off.
Okay. And please don't forget about the cash out, people. You know, we're gonna get to the DMs because I gotta address something that was sent to my DMs and people sending it to me, so they want my opinion. So don't hang up, people. Sister, you still there? Hello? I think she hung up. Call back in, sister. 3154. We'll get to the DMs. Wow, this show look like it's 3154. Hello, 3154. Okay. 6452.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Wally. I'm calling back. I was the one that had the kid at an early age. I just want to thank everybody for sending good wishes to me. But like one of the questions that people had in the chat was, did I raise my kids, or where was the father? The father wasn't around, so I basically raised my children, on my own. But I always told the father, it's not about finance; it's about you being in their life emotionally. And they made their choices. I can't worry about who's playing a part.
as long as I'm playing the part. I'm not gonna go and say like it's easy. It was very hard. I had worked, did summer job 14 and giving my check to my baby. I worked 16 years old till I was, able to get my own apartment and stuff like that or whatever.
All right.
But I also use the government. The government has programs for people. And if we don't use them, they go away.
Absolutely.
Where we had the program where they were sending people to college to go get a GED, computer, this, and that. And if you don't use it, it goes away.
Right. They do have that. You're right. They have that where it's other programs to help you get to CNA school and everything. So to help you get your CNA license and everything. What's your last point? Because I'm gonna go to the next caller.
I was just saying that, we just have to believe, have goals, and go forward. We cannot worry about nothing else but ourselves.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to call back, just to say, I thank you, but everything was hard. But
60
as long
seconds.
as I believe and I have faith, that's what got me through anything. And I had my children.
Well, we thank you so much for calling back in and letting us know, sister. You stay strong and keep up the good work, sister.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. This caller called back in, so let me see what they 4486.
Hey, yes. Hi, Wally. How are you?
Yes, I'm wonderful. Go ahead,
Good.
sister.
Good. So, question. I'm going to speak on. I know that a lot of people are talking in regards to the firearms and saying, everybody get your firearms, and I do understand that, and I do agree. I'm a retired correctional officer, but what that being said, what people also need to understand,
10 seconds.
You get a firearm or fire weapon. If you happen to fire that firearm, it's so much paperwork that you do also have to write up to back as to why you fired the weapon off. So I'm assuming that all, different states have different laws and things of that nature, but I don't think a lot of people know that because you can't just say self-defense.
You have to
be self-defense.
Right. Tell them again. You have to see whatever your gun laws in your state or your city. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got different gun laws. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just can't just carry a gun. You got to take a class. Some require a class. Some don't. So you got to research, people. Do your research and what's in your area. Don't be just trying to get a gun because you just want to carry one. You just grabbing one. You might get your hand part thrown in jail. So make sure you do your research.
That's right. Yep,
I don't carry a gun. Whether it's my right. Okay, then you go get your hat. You go get your.
What your city holds. That is correct. You can't just get the firearm carried around, walking around, showing up, showing I got a weapon. That doesn't mean anything because if you happen to fire that weapon off, you better write that paperwork right so that you won't go to jail along with whoever you was trying to shoot and probably gonna miss the shot anyway. Understand what I'm saying, probably? So
and you gotta know how to shoot and take classes. Don't be just trying to get a gun and you don't know how to shoot and stuff like that. You got your synthetic wig on and you try to get it, you don't know how to aim.
Right. So how you gonna say self-defense and you done shot somewhere else? That's
you
not
done
gonna
shot.
work. So
you done shot. You done shot the cashier. You aiming at somebody. You done shot everybody else, and the person that didn't rob you, they didn't got away. So make sure you practice.
And don't say self-defense because it's not going to work. It is most definitely not going to work. So I'm not going to hold you up, but I do think that people do need to understand that and need to look into it because it's just not as simple as go ahead and get a weapon for protection. It's so much more after that. Even when the cops shoot somebody, what they do, some of them take them off the street until they get finished investigating, and then their paperwork better be right. But I'm not going to get into all that on.
You gotta have your paperwork, and some of y'all gotta wear glasses. You can't hardly see like that, and you carry it. Yeah. What you can't even hardly see. You need to make some of y'all don't need no weapon. Some of y'all get weapons. Y'all gonna be hitting everything else but the target.
Absolutely. So I don't want people saying, well, get a weapon. I'm getting a weapon for protection. No, it's bigger than getting a weapon for protection.
You better be prepared and trained. You better know what you're doing.
That weapon and write that paperwork has better be right. If not, you're going to be caught up. That's all.
Right.
And please don't have a record.
And don't have no record.
You know
you got 15 felonies. You know you can't be having no weapon.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, and please don't go borrow nobody else's weapon that might got 3-4 bodies on it that you gonna catch.
You borrow your cousin. He just got a prison. You borrow his weapon. I don't care what Wiley say. I'm going out here anyhow. Your half are gonna be in jail for about 3 life sentences. You'll have about 15 bodies on there.
Absolutely.
They gonna pick you up from church. After you leave from church, they're gonna be right out there at church. They're gonna be picking you up. Some of y'all right now got good bodies all on it. You know that's Pookie in the basement gun. You know you're supposed to be having that gun over there. They gonna catch you.
Yeah. Yeah, don't say, I was listening to the Wiley Show and they kept saying, get a weapon. You
better do your research. Because they're gonna be like, who is Wiley?
Do your research first. At the end of the day. That's it. All right, then, Wiley, I'm not going to hold you up. But I just want to get that out because I know it's so easy to say, get a weapon.
Right.
It's just not that easy getting a weapon and frying it and shooting somebody and you're going to say self-defense. It's not going to be that easy. All right, then, Wiley, you have a good one.
Absolutely.
And thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, sister. Right. What we're talking about, it's a process. That's what we're talking about with ownership. It's a process. Some people, in order to get a permit, you got to take a class. It all depends on where you at. You know, all depends on where you are. Some people, if you got a mental illness, you can't get a weapon. It all depends on where you at. 3154, Carly on the air.
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
How you doing?
Bless.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I wanted to speak to the lady who called in about the other woman who lets her kids smoke weed in the house, talking about that's against the law. The law ain't never decided what's right and what's wrong. You know, it's a lot of things that's not against the law that's messed up. It's a lot of things that are against the law. It ain't got nothing to do with, life decisions. Who decided what the law should be like? Even when they test our kids and they give us these IQ tests, you testing people based on your experiences. Do you understand me and my history enough to know what kind of test is showing that my brain is working good? You know what I'm saying? And then it's kind of like, you don't want your kids smoking weed, but they get to that age where you're like, damn, they just discovered weed. They just figured out how good it feels. Like, what can I do? Do I want my kids trying to stick and hide and smoke weed behind the local grocery store? Or should I just let them smoking in the backyard? You understand? Right. It's kind of like when they discovered dick. Like, damn, my baby didn't discover how good dick feels. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to figure out the best way to teach her how to go about it. And they make it illegal. Weed is really therapeutic. They don't want us to know how good weed is for us. They don't mind us. We be stressed out. You know what I'm saying? And it's natural. They don't want you knowing that you can reach for something that's natural and it can alleviate that stress. And they haven't figured out how they gonna profit off of it, because all it is they haven't figured out the best way they gonna profit off of it. Look at alcohol. Look at liquor. That mess is dangerous. You'll be driving drunk, dying. But that's not illegal. But they have found a way to make weed illegal until they can figure out how they gonna profit off of it. Once they figure out how they gonna profit off of it, all of a sudden it ain't illegal no more. All of a sudden we done put all these rules on ourselves and had all these inhibitions because we were scared about breaking the law and who made up what law. Well, what happened when they make it legal now? What's your argument now? You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like I'm gonna make it quick. I know it's been a while. I feel like you made 2 good points, Wiley, when we were talking about racism. You said that they could do something in the neighborhoods where everybody in the neighborhood, do some kind of nursing or something. And then in about 4 years, you said the neighborhood would be looking better and doing better. And I agree with that. And we know there are a lot of programs that people need to take advantage of them. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. But maybe, give people incentives to stay in the neighborhood when they complete the program. You know what I'm saying? Give people an incentive to not leave the neighborhood behind. Maybe you can't floss the way you want to because there's still some individuals with a bad mindset in your neighborhood. But you give other people who don't have that mindset the opportunity to see somebody doing something and they don't have to go, well, I can't be a doctor or a lawyer or a football player. There's an in-between. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody to look up to see a young woman or a young man doing what they have to do every day, working on their own business, and that's going to influence the kids in the neighborhood as well, so they don't have to only see the dope boys or whoever and the people who did something to move out the neighborhood. The kids don't get to see that. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then another point that you made was that we can't focus all on too many things. Like the caterer trying to focus on the flowers.
Right.
The DJ trying to focus on the food. No, let one group of people focus on what we need to do for the youth. Let another group of people focus on what we need to do for, the prison system. Let another group of people focus on what we need to do as far as having access to, plants and vegetables and other resources like that. And this is my last, I'm finna hurry up, I'm finna go. Now, you had mentioned also about how when it comes to religion and the whole Steve Harvey thing, how the Indians, which we shouldn't even be calling Indians because the white people got over here and thought this was India. This was not India. You know what I'm saying? Calling it a Native American or an indigenous person an entity. It's kind of like calling them a nigger. You know what I'm saying? With a hard ER. We learn what you're supposed to be saying to people. You know what I'm saying? But it looks the same how they worship or, admire the sun, the rain, the grass, or whatever. And then you link it together in your head. Africans done that. Africans got the sun god, the moon god. What people don't really realize, you look back at them old pictures of the Indians, they're really dark-skinned people. They look like us. They got long, dark, thick hair. And really, that's us. And they try to separate it when we go to school and make it seem like it was the Indians that all the white people killed off. Yeah, but that was us. They looked like us. They had dark skin. They had long, thick, coarse hair. You know what I'm saying? And what they do is they try to make us detach from it, make us separate ourselves from it. Like, oh, well, they just took us from Africa and brought us over here. No, they killed all our ass off. They killed us all off to take over this land. That's why you connected it in your head like that. They want us to detach from the truth of it and not realize that the Indians look like us, damn it, because that was us. And yeah, what you think, Wiley?
Well, this is the thing. I'm not a religious scholar. So I don't know everything, but what I do know, whatever you serve, treat your community right, be a good pillar of your community, your family, do good. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you follow, whoever you worship, just do good in your neighborhood, do good in your home, right?
Right, amen. I agree with that. And I don't think it's so much of an individual, hold yourself accountable. I feel like it's a family.
It should be a unit. Whatever you serve, just do right,
unit,
right?
Not an individual, selfish type stuff.
Right. So I don't try to get in depth because, again, I'm not a religious scholar. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to act like I am a religious scholar. Baby, you talking about the Greek, the Hebrew, and West Africa. Then they say you can't really call it Africa because it was named something before it was named Africa. You got some people, when you had them kind of conversations, I got to get me some experts, you know what I mean? That, went to school and study that, because I'm not going to act like I know. But what I do know, whether you serve whomever you serve, just treat your brother or sister right. Period. That's how I believe. Treat them right. Whoever you serve, make sure you treat right and make sure that people are getting resources in the community, because it's a lot of religious people. Maybe they need to start more so like they did in the civil rights era, got involved in civil rights. A lot of churches got out of they don't do it no more. They used to be in protest, march. They used to open up their churches for voting and all that. A lot of these churches, they're not as active.
Yeah, they started trying to be politically correct.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a lot of churches where it's a lot of crime. And I'm like, what y'all doing to help with the crime? It's a whole lot of churches on every street. It's an AME, Baptist, Kojic, and crime. They're sitting right there. Where all these Bible preachers, praying folks? Where's that? Y'all want to be terrible,
people need to stick together and encourage each other to do good things. We can come together and do some bad stuff.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a whole plan. We're going to have a backup plan. We're going to have a getaway. We're going to take the joint and watching the spot 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? We got it all figured out how we gonna hit that lick.
Yeah, it's something wrong. Right. You just left church shouting, speaking in tongue, and get robbed. It's something wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's something wrong.
And then as far as sticking together, you see the messages with that other lady they say group us together with brown people, but you know where I'm from. Yeah, I know people say in Texas the messages and the black people play around, they get along real good, and we get along.
Right.
I mean, black people, but that's not here nor there.
All
we
right.
Need to stick together. You see the messages living together. It's generations all in the same house.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel
4 or
that.
5 generations. Niggas, stop kicking people out to the street like it's supposed to be an individual thing. We got to build something together. The man who's running a corner store, he's not doing it by himself. He's doing it with his damn family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Well, thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your beautiful Sunday.
Thank you. Ooh-wee. Let me say this. Only on the Wiley Show, baby, I took every single call, recall, and stuff like that, because over here we do it for free. Baby, y'all better thank God for the Wiley Show, because we don't be charging y'all the super way chat y'all way to the top enough just for free, and y'all just be talking. Yeah, Wiley, and all this stuff going on, and let me tell you about the Hebrews and all that. You know what, Wiley? Let me finish this other point. Yeah, it's gonna be another 50 minutes, and all that. Y'all like, man, y'all better be thankful for the Wiley Show. Because some of these other shows, baby, they gonna boot and get off. We sing happy birthday. We get it sing to you. Man, these other platforms, you can say it's your birthday all day long. They'll look at you like you crazy. So, and it's your birthday. Whatever. I'll be patient with the sound, your background. Hold up, y'all. When your background be going off, turn your background. Some of these other platforms, man, you better have that your background going. You gonna get hung up on. We patient. 6688. I want to say it again. 6688. Man, if you don't say it off that first try, you're gonna get hung up. You're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute. You're gonna be hung up. You gotta move. All right. So in my DM, people want me to give a response because Jaguar Wright, this is what Jaguar Wright is planning. Jaguar Wright she want to go on the Mott Wiggins show. And I'm just making a statement because this was in my DM. So she apparently want to do a show on the Mott Wiggins show. He's going to ask her questions about the interview. Let me tell you, they're split with the B&B squad. Let me let you all know this, okay? This is my stance on it. Some of the B&B squad is split. Oh, don't do it, Armand. Don't you do that interview. But this is the thing. I don't care where Jaguar Wright goes. I don't care who she talked to. Because after she get through talking to whatever, she ain't going to stop talking and doing what she does best, and that is ranting. So me personally don't have an issue with my interviewing Jaguar Wright. I don't have an issue with that. If she agreed to come on the show, there you go. But all Jaguar Wright going to do, she going to go on this show. He's going to get the thousands of views. But she's going to go on other shows that don't like him to pin. She loved that divisiveness. She loved to cause friction. So yes, she would go. She would do the show. He would interview her. She would answer the questions. And then maybe a week, maybe that same day, she going to go to somebody else's show that don't like Armand, and she could come up with something where Armand told me that you were coming at me. That's what he told me, Tasha. And she could come with a big conspiracy. So that's just even when Storm did it. Storm did that interview with Jaguar. What did Jaguar do? She turned against Storm. Then she said, I know your neighbor, Storm. They said you a nice guy, and I'm gonna tell Cardi B. Like I'm telling you, you have to deal with she's going to switch, she's going to drag. She's not loyal. And some of these people always talking about, I want people that's gonna be loyal. Well, Jaguar Wright ain't loyal. All these people that be preaching, I want somebody that's loyal. She ain't no loyalist, baby. Jag is about Jag. I'ma just say it like that. Jag is about Jag. Because when Jaguar Wright interviewed her mama, talked to her mama like that, and dragged the mama's scared of Jaguar Wright. The woman was scared. I felt like we should raise an offering for the mama to get a security force. Because the mama was scared. So what do you mean? Did you hear what I'm saying? What do you mean? I mean, she dragged mama. But it's a narrative. I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm giving my opinion because y'all asked me, and I'm giving it to y'all. It's a narrative because the narrative that Mr. Wiggins may take just by listening to what he was saying is that he don't like Tasha K. He think that Tasha K is trash. He called her a Dusty B. He pretty much dragged Tasha K. So he pretty much don't like Tasha K. Even though he has the same type of platform, same type of set like Tasha K. Even though Tasha K was sharing his platform, even though he was learning different ideas of different ways, learning the formula from Tasha K, but yet you hate her. Even though I don't want to talk about Tasha K no more. I evolved from Tasha K, but now you want to interview Jaguar Wright. So what they're going to do, what Wiley going to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have my ink pen. And that's the thing. That's the tea she want to go on the mouth because that's what she's saying. That's people saying the DM. Oh, she gonna go on the show. What's your thoughts on it? I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna wait for the day she just have a conspiracy and she have a lot of allegations. One thing about Jaguar, she have a lot of allegations. You don't know what allegations she's gonna say out of her mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot. Before you try to drag Tasha, if you do interview Jaguar Wright said a whole lot of stuff. She talked about James. So you have to tread carefully interviewing Jaguar Wright because she had put out a lot of allegations about a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I will be watching if he do interview her. I got my pen and my notebook. I'm here to take the notes. I'm here to give my response. So if he do interview. If not, it's okay. But let's not act like Tasha K didn't do nothing right. She interviewed and she done the documentary. It's up to you, the viewer, whether you agree with it or not. The point of it, I produced this content. This is for the consumer, for you can consume it. You may not always agree with it, but did you watch it? She won. Did you click it? Many people are sending me DMs. Wiley, what time do the premiere? They were talking about what time do the premiere come on for the Jaguar Wright interview? What time do it come on, Wiley? But these same folks, maybe a day or a week ago, were dragging Tasha. But these ain't in my text. What time do it come out? Can you tell her to release it early? I can't tell her to release it early. I'm not the CEO or the COO of KB Studio. I'm not even an employee of KB Studio. So how can I go and tell Tasha, hey, Tasha, can you release the documentary early? Release it right now. It would people begging me to tell her to release it early. I ain't got no power over KB Studio. I'm just a supporter. I'm a fan. So regardless of how it's gonna go with people, they think I'm the CEO, COO. I'm not even a janitor. So, but we love Tasha and we love what they're doing. Now, is Tasha K perfect? No. Now, if Jaguar Wright goes on the Marvel, congratulations. That's gonna be awesome. But the problem with Jaguar Wright is that she tends to drag people that she goes on their shows. That's the issue with Jaguar Wright. Because when Storm, it hurt Storm when Jag was saying that stuff about him. And then Talib Kweli, come on, somebody, I'm saying it today. Come on and share this live. Talib Kweli came out. He said, well, it's this YouTuber interviewed Drag and shot that she lied on him. But what do you expect when she lied, when she was lying on me, but it wasn't no problem? But now you want to drag her because she lying on you. You remember that? I remember when Talib Kweli wrote that post, and it was some truth to what he wrote, because she turned against the people that gave her a platform, and she will do it. Anytime somebody will turn against their mama, drag their mama, record her, it's a 10. You got to understand what you're going to, and once you understand, I know how Jaguar Wright operate. I know how she operate. I know what she does. She go to different channels. She play different sides. And he said, "Oh my gosh, I like her mind." Now, child, you gang recognize gang. You ain't confusing me. You ain't overdoing that. You're trying to get under Tasha K's skin. Right now, Tasha K is winning. Unless you about to drop a family member, maybe if he interviewed you and your mama, only how that interview would probably work, I would think, because we heard a lot about Jaguar Wright. Well, we'll make this interview differently. I'm just saying. If he would interview Jaguar Wright, mama, the man that was accused of R-ing Jaguar Wright, that would be something different. But just having Jaguar Wright talking about Cardi B and bringing up all that stuff, we know you ain't got no clout with no Cardi B. We already know Tasha K got a lawsuit with Cardi B. We already know this just old news. We broke it down, whatever it is. But to his audience, we shall see how it's going to be. I'm not hating. Like, again, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm going to have my book. I'm going to have my ink pen. Okay? And I'm gonna just break it down, my thoughts on it. Because people was asking me. Y'all asked me in a DM. They said, "What do you think about it?" I think it would be great. Go do it. He want to interview her. Because if you remember, Wiley, if you remember when Jaguar went on Storm was close to 100K, right? Him and Ahmad was battling. Who's going to get to 100K first? It was because of Jaguar Wright that got him over the threshold, even though he would have gotten to 100K regardless. But because of the highly success of the Jaguar Wright interview, it got 1 million views. The radio show talked about it. It got a lot of buzz, and it got Storm over 100K, and it got him a lot of thousands. It got him a lot of subscribers, right? He's almost at 200,000K. And a piece of that, not all of that, a piece of that success is because of his interviews with Jaguar Wright. Right, so we shall see how this interview gonna go with Ahmad. It could be very entertaining because Jaguar Wright can go left and Ahmad can go left. He don't mind calling you a B word or whatever. He will cuss you out. I'm here for, especially if he drinking. Okay, and I ain't talking about no coffee, especially if he drinking that liquor in that cup, in that colorful cup. I want him to be drunk as a skunk interviewer. I want her to be smoking her cigarettes or her weed, and I want him to be drunk so it could be a show. Baby, I want them bells and bombs to be going off and him being drunk and then cuss out if she said this, I'm here for it. And I will be watching. And she cuss him out. They go back and cuss. And, it could possibly, go left. So that's just what it is. So that's what it is, because she wrote a post. She said, "Oh my gosh, Ahmad, thank you for doing this video about color." I'm like, come on, Jag. Just do the man show. We have told her to do the man show for months. Do it. And let's see how this is going to operate. Would he give more clout to who's going to come out as a winner? Tasha and Ahmad. Who's going to come out as a loser? Jag, because she still don't have a monetized platform. She still don't have her podcast. They're gonna come out as winners. Is that gonna stop? Is that gonna stop Tasha K bag? No, it's gonna increase it. It's gonna increase Ahmad Wiggins bag. Who ain't gonna be getting a bag like that? It's Jag. That's the sad part about it. And I want to say thank you to all the callers and all of the comments that I was receiving from this, because we have already reviewed the series beforehand because we paid the money, we reviewed it, and we want to thank everybody for your opinion, for your comments. But again, I just wish them the best. Did y'all hear that? That was pretty much was the tea. It wasn't no tea but tea. They want to hear my thoughts. Y'all be ready to hear my thoughts. But did I do good by giving my opinion? I did good by giving my opinion, okay? She did take a break. Jack need to go to sleep. Relax. I heard a rumor. I don't know. Believe. They would live a lot better if they were getting retired and all that. We, regardless of the people think, we have made Tasha successful, wealthy, and on top of her game of the YouTube thing today. Then too much success and influence. Yes, Tasha was very smart and working with the up and coming YouTubers. That's her power base. She was very strategic in that. Very strategic. Absolutely. And which Tasha confront Jag on my absolutely she would. Tasha's that kind of person. She don't run away from. She'll go on there if he send her a link. You bring up good points. Absolutely. In fact, Barb Tasha K asked the cousin, well, why is she living in her car? And the cousin think that Jag drinks and smokes and dollars every month. Oh my God, Jag got the opinion of that. You right. I'm just reading several comments. Any last comments? Because we've been on here for 3 hours. We want to thank everybody that gave today. Thank you, brothers and sisters. We did another 3-hour live, baby. We had a lot of callers that called in. They want to get a story and everything like that. They said if I was Jag, I would not go and no more shows. But Jag loved the attention. It was a comment. I want to read that comment. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go to that comment before I go. I want to read it because it was a good comment somebody wrote. If I can get to it. Somebody wrote a comment. Let me see. Let's go to it. What was that comment? With Jag, no wage. Okay. I don't know what the comment. Well, pretty much they said Jag do not care about the money. She's just obsessed with the attention. Pretty much what the person said. With the obsessed, she's just obsessed with the attention. That's all she wanted was the attention. That's all she wanted is that she's addicted to the attention. And attention is a drug too. When people do anything for attention, that's a drug. You go to so somebody wrote a comment like that. If Jag's suing, she needs to stop talking. She's not suing. You gotta have money to sue. Like when people say sue, okay, file the paperwork, get the process server, serve her, and it's a process to sue. Just like Cardi B suing Tasha, but did that stop Tasha from talking about Cardi? No, they still giving each other paperwork. We follow that case thoroughly. Every time there's an update, every time a paper is filed, I get an email. So just because you saying you suing, it is a process. When you suing civilly, be ready to pull money into that lawsuit because you got to pay for the legal fees, court fees, lawyer fees. That's not easy when you're talking about suing legally. When you're suing, civilly. When you're suing. LOL, I'm reading y'all comments. She got it. Her IG views are going up. Yes, that's good. I'm happy for her. I would have loved to see her in a podcast. I love her voice. Get in here. Everybody get in here. 3:00, baby. Okay. we wish her well, and I wish all of them success. March is Mental Health Awareness Month. Pray for those that are less fortunate. Amen. March is Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And I want to say shout out to people that's in the chat. I know this was a lengthy live, but the people were calling in. I want to say shout out again. I think shout out to Marquita. It was her birthday today. So shout out to Marquita. All right, love you. People don't realize when you sue, you open yourself to having to reveal everything in your life. But the idea who sues Tasha. It was a lengthy live. Did y'all love the lengthy live? Make sure y'all subscribe. This was a lengthy live, and leave us a comment what y'all thought about the live. It was really, really lengthy. Thank you so very much. I love talking to you all. This was an incredible live. It was needed. We talked about politics, Steve Harvey, Kenya Moore. We talked about it all today. Religion. It was a lengthy live. I enjoyed our conversations. I love the lengthy live. Yeah, I love it too. I wasn't rushing. I'm like, hey, all right, let me get this call live. No, we done with that. All right. Peace.